So, welcome back to the show. This is a speculation special on the Batman Part 2. Joining me today are my good friends, Shenmue and Koob. The Batman Part 2 was originally announced in April 2022, just 1 month after the original film, and it was announced at CinemaCon.
2022, man. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I've never heard of CinemaCon. There's just so many conventions I've never heard of.
where is CinemaCon?
It's probably like LA.
CinemaCon is held annually at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, interesting.
The film's title was announced in January 2023 by DC Studios heads James Gunn and Peter Safran. The original release date for the Batman Part 2 was October the 3rd, 2025.
I'm sure that happened, right?
Didn't quite make it.
Yeah. We would be now looking forward to the home release. It was delayed to October the 2nd, 2026, then delayed again to October the 1st, 2027.
Yep. As much as I don't like them, it was inevitable with the writer's strike that happened. And I mean, it took Matt Reeves a long time to get this script written for this movie as well.
And Matt Reeves is a perfectionist. He took a long
Yeah.
time writing the first movie as well.
Am I happy about the delays? No, but if it means we're gonna get a good movie, I'll take them.
Because of these delays, we've now lost the cinematographer and the production designer from the Batman Part 1.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Basically scheduling conflicts now because those guys have
They've had
they've
to
had to
move
go
on.
off and take other jobs, yeah. And
Yeah.
so
I mean, that
yeah,
makes sense.
now that has me a
Man,
little worried because you think about the look of the Batman.
exactly.
It's
The
got a
cinematography
very
as well. Oh,
Yeah, and the production design, like they're the two
yeah.
guys that are really integral, right, for the look and the feel of the movie, and they're both gone.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know about how you feel, but when I watch, like Batman Returns, I love the movie, I love the look of the movie, but it's a different look completely from the first movie because it was a different
Yeah,
production designer. And
completely.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they're both fantastic looking films. But even back then, there was a part of me which was just like, I wish it just could have looked like the first movie. The Gotham City from the first film, but at Christmas with the snow and everything. Like, imagine that snowy landscape, but on the first movie's like cityscape. That would have been. I would have loved to have seen that. Tim Burton did not consider Batman Returns to be a sequel to Batman. In his mind, it was just another adventure with Batman.
Right,
So
I see.
the studio obviously wanted it to be a sequel, market it as a sequel, but not in Burton's mind. It was like this is a standalone adventure, and that's why Burton was happy to have a different visual look to the city, a different Wayne Manor, a different Batcave. It felt very different in a way. But
Yeah, I
but
mean,
this
it doesn't, sorry, it didn't feel like a sequel. So he did, I guess he was right in that respect. I mean, it does feel like a continuation in that sense, but like it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
feel
not
like
a
a sequel.
traditional sequel.
No, it's not. No.
Batman's considered in Reeves' mind to be a continuation, so it's a true sequel.
Yeah. And that'll be also interesting because if you also think about the Dark Knight trilogy, something kind of similar happened with that too, in the sense that I feel like tonally it changed a lot from Batman Begins to Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, right? Like I feel like there's a big tonal shift and it and even the city looked very different and it looked more kind of just Chicago and all that stuff and I don't know I find that interesting that this time we might actually finally get a proper continuation that does feel like it's well then again though like you just said I'm now arguing with myself but like I just realized if we've got some key people though that are missing for the sequel, we might also get the same problem again, right? But unintentionally this time. Like the director wants to keep it all the same, but maybe we'll end up with a bit of loss there. I don't know. It'd be interesting, but it would be great though, wouldn't it, if we could get a proper sequel that actually does feel all tonally similar.
Even though Reeves wants to keep it the same, it's gonna look a bit different. It can't. You can't help it, you know. That's what I think.
I know, and that's the only thing though, isn't it? Right, because it's like this time it's actually intended to make it the same.
Matt
Yeah.
Reeves has described the story for part two as a continuation of the Batman, while also being completely different, showing a new side of Robert Pattinson's Batman. So that's interesting.
I mean, that's good. That sounds all good stuff.
Reeves also said that this will be another mystery, delving into even deeper corruption.
That's yeah, no, it does kind of make sense that they're kind of going in that theme.
Well, he's described the his films as an epic crime saga. That's the words he
Yeah.
used. And I do like he said we want to show a different side of Robert Pattinson's Batman. So I'm thinking, what side do you want to show then? So in my
Mm.
mind, I'm thinking maybe it's the public side of Bruce Wayne,
Right, that's also
maybe
what
the
came into my
Playboy
mind.
side,
Yeah, that's exactly what came into my mind when you just said that. Yeah.
or maybe it's the side that's like more balanced now, less vengeance, more trying to inspire perhaps. Because
Mm,
Christian Bale's Batman was interested in inspiring people, wasn't he? People in Gotham. He
true.
hoped his example would inspire people. So maybe that, yeah, be interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm
Reeves
definitely excited to see a different side like that. That's going to be whatever that is.
Reeves said he aims to keep the film grounded in reality, pushing it towards the fantastical, but never fully entering it.
That's cool.
That's hard to judge, right, based on that comment, because you're like, I don't know, could go anywhere, right? Could go, you could take that statement in different ways, couldn't you?
It's definitely open to interpretation on
Yeah.
purpose, I think, I'm sure, so that you
So
don't
it's
really
hard
know
to
too
even
much.
comment on that because there's no way of
Yeah,
knowing. He said he hinted that the villain will be presented in a way never really been done in a movie before. And he said it's not going to be a villain we've seen on film before.
oh,
Yeah. So it's not going to be. So you think of all the other Batman films. So it's not going to be.
oh,
It's
because I
not
know
going to
there's
be
going to
Mr.
be
Freeze.
Joker stuff in there though, isn't there? So it's obviously
Well, we
Joker's not going to
don't
be the
know
main
for
guy then.
certain, do we?
Well, I guess not, yeah. Just because he was in that scene doesn't mean to say he's going to
He
be.
could, for all we know,
Maybe he's just in the
he is
background or
still
something.
in Arkham throughout the second film.
Yeah. In fact,
Like
maybe he'll
maybe he
be
doesn't
the
get
guy
out.
in the third movie. He'll
Yeah,
be the. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
like maybe we even see like the Riddler still, and he's in Arkham because he's literally
Yeah,
his cell is literally next door to
next to him.
the
Yeah.
Joker's. Maybe we see the two of them in Arkham for some reason, but they both never get out of there in the next movie.
I'm hoping we see a little bit more of the Riddler and the Joker. I hope we get a little bit more into Arkham, maybe.
Do you
That'd be
think we
cool.
will see those characters, or is it just what
I
you would hope?
I would hope to see them.
Man, who have we not seen in a movie though?
It's got to be a villain that fits in with this theme of like corruption and so right. It's got to be someone that fits that.
Hmm,
So while you're
that is
thinking about
interesting.
that, he also said he's made another comment. He said he emphasized his goal of making Batman the emotional center of the story, preventing other characters from taking over. I do love hearing
Yeah,
that.
that's great. Yeah, yeah.
Now, here's a quote from him. He says, a lot of the other films, which I love, once you get past the origin tale, which we didn't quite do, but we did something that referred to his origins, then you start telling the Rogues Gallery story and that character's arc. But I never wanted to lose Robert Pattinson at the center of those stories. And so that is
Right,
really
yeah.
what we set our aim on. So once again, the next movie will be focused heavily on Batman, like the first one. It won't suddenly become like the Joker story. and the Joker's taken over or something, or whoever the villain is.
Hmm. Hmm.
Matt Reeves said, we put the script into a secret pouch that literally has a lock on it with a code.
That's amazing. So no one can come in and have a look.
Yeah, no script
That's
leaks.
amazing. I love that.
That's like Marvel levels. That's what Marvel would do with their big hits. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't. I didn't know they actually did something like that.
Yeah, they would make like a fake script because they had a few actors that would do interviews and stuff and would spoil key plot points of the movie. I think Tom Holland was one of them. I forget the other guy, but he
Oh
was
yeah.
notorious for spoiling some.
So how do they stop Tom Holland from ruining the movie?
I think they'd give like a fake script at a fake script to the actors, and then would say, "We're actually doing this instead." If
Mhm.
I know the Russo brothers did it. I don't know about anybody
They
else.
just don't give him the script until the night before filming. But what we have had in between these movies is The Penguin, right? Which was a massive
Yeah.
success. Critically, it was a enormous success. It won multiple Emmy Awards.
That's true last year, and that show was really good.
It's
The
good to hear.
Sophia character was a big like breakout
Oh
star, wasn't
yeah.
she?
Brilliant.
Christine Milioti was fantastic.
As much as I'd like to see her in the movie, I don't think Sophia is gonna show up.
Matt said that basically the script wasn't
Wouldn't.
complete by the time that
eh,
the Penguin show came out and Sophia became this big massive hit. But he said the script was so far along at that point that you couldn't just put her in. It was too well developed. You know, they were more like in the final stages of polishing and finishing it off. It was too late to start taking it apart and inserting a new character in there, like Sophia.
Yeah, unfortunate. I really liked her. She was a great character.
I wouldn't be surprised if again that's a number three, Batman 3 situation.
Could be.
Yeah, or they could just do a whole side series about her.
She
That's
could
maybe
definitely carry a show on her own. I mean, who would have
again.
thought that, Rob? When we was getting ready to watch the Penguin show, we're sitting there excited to see Colin Farrell, but the big breakout hit was Sophia, a
Yeah,
character who's from the comics, but is very small in the comics and isn't like a fan beloved character or anything like that. But now she's just become this iconic character that just people want to see more of because of the writing, but also because of the actress. Like a big part is the actress.
yeah.
I think if we do get a season two of The Penguin,
You
or
think
aside,
you think it's gonna get a season two?
I think they're trying to do it, right? They are trying to put something together right now. I know that's happening. Whether
Okay.
they, because they'll only do it if they've got something good. They've said that. Lauren the Frank said we'll only do it if we feel that we can top the first season. It not it. She said like if it's not better than the first season, we won't do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say like don't force it,
Yeah, they've got an idea. It's just whether it comes together to the high standard that they've set for themselves.
which is good. I like that they're doing this high standard, not just
I can,
pumping out
I,
slop.
yeah, like some other comic book.
I was just gonna make a joke about that.
My idea with Sophia for a Penguin season two is, we had that sort of, can we call it a cliffhanger? I don't know. But
Yeah,
there was a bit at the end where we learn we've got this connection, haven't we, between Sophia and Selena because they're half sisters. So I feel like that's obviously the place to go, like naturally, if there's a season two where Selena visits Sophia in Arkham and somehow she gets her sister out of there and they both team up because they've got something against Oswald or
yeah.
Oz, as he's called. And maybe Because at the end of the Batman, Selina takes off, doesn't she? She leaves Gotham and she's got like a duffel bag full of the Penguin's cash.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he wants that back. And I could see him pursuing her to Bloodhaven. I could see Penguin sending people there to find her, making inquiries, and it's possible that that drives her back to Gotham because things get too hot where she is, and maybe, she's with what she's discovered about her half sister, like the two of them basically find that they need to work together because Oz is this threat to or this enemy of both of them. So that feels very natural to me, like a natural place to take the story and something I would
Yeah.
love to see. Because I really like Zoe Kravitz as well.
She's
I,
pretty good.
yeah, like every time I watch her in stuff, I like her. Like she's got a lot of charisma, a really good personality, and that comes through in all the characters that she's played that I've seen her in. And I thought she was great as Selena, and so like I would like to see her. Whether she's in the Batman Part 2 or not, we don't know, do we?
Yeah, I hope she's in it.
Who do you think will be the new villains? Any idea?
You and I have both talked about this, and I'm starting to believe what you think. I think it's the
Court of
Court of
Owls.
Owls. Yeah, the Court of
Yeah.
Owls. Because it Matt Reeves has described it as like an epic crime saga,
Hmm.
and really they fit that description the best. They're
I
like a
think so.
crime organization.
And they're like the top of the food chain, right?
Yeah.
Because in the Batman, we started off street level crime, and then we work our way up to Falcone, and then we see that Falcone's like got the police and the judges and everyone's like answering to him, and you're thinking, well, where can it go from that then in this epic crime saga? It could go sideways. We can't go to Moroni because we went there in the Penguin and he's now dead. It could go to a different character like Oz, but we know that Oz is a small part, so it's not going there. So I think the Court of Owls is interesting because they are like right at the very top and they're so high up that no one even knows that they're the ones pulling the strings.
Who was it? You were also thinking of someone else. Was it
Uh,
Hugo Strange, or were you thinking of Amadeus Arkham? I can't remember which one it
Hugo
was.
Strange.
Yeah.
Possibly, but Court of Owls seems more likely to me. Seems the better fit. You could definitely do Hugo Strange. For
Yeah, that,
sure, you could do it.
I was just trying to think about what female bad characters are there.
Poison Ivy.
Oh, but yeah. Because I was
So,
thinking about that. I feel like it's going to be a female bad character,
oh,
like a
why do you think
female,
that?
just in keeping with like general trends of current times, right? I feel like it's just
Who would you like to see as a villain in the new film?
honestly, I'll go with the Court of Owls. I'll just say the Court of Owls
Harvey
because
Dent's Two-Face is your favorite Batman villain, though, isn't he?
yeah, I know like they could do him, but I don't think not yet. I think they need time to properly set him like set Harvey Dent up as a character before they just turn him into Two-Face. Because
Do you
I want
think we'll
to,
see Harvey Dent in part two?
that'd be nice to see. I'd hope so,
I would
but
put that down as very high because there's literally an opening for a new DA. It's just like Batman Begins, In Batman
yeah.
Begins, Finch was the DA, wasn't he? And he dies. And then there's an opening suddenly. And then in the next film, we've got Harvey Dent. So I feel like we're in the same sort of territory with the Batman. We lost the DA in the Batman, and now it would be the perfect time to bring in Harvey Dent for part two. And
I,
then maybe he's Two-Face in part three.
I just don't know. After the terrible adaptations we've gotten of Harvey Dent in the movies, I don't. I mean, okay, Dark Knight, the Dark Knight, he was fine, but I'm just mainly talking about Joker too. Oh, what a butcher of that character. He's like such a in that movie. Him and Batman forever.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. Another butchering of the character
The
though.
absolute worst version. Yeah. My pick previously was Riddler because I always wanted to get this like so when I saw the film Zodiac, the David Fincher film Zodiac, when I watched that movie, I immediately thought to myself, that's how they should do the Riddler in a future Batman movie. And Matt Reeves saw the same film and he was like, that's how I'm going to do the Riddler. So the Riddler in the Batman was heavily inspired by Zodiac. And that's what we got in the Batman. And I was super happy with that, right? So that was my wish. My one wish of
I
any
really,
villain.
really like the Riddler, yeah, in the
Yeah.
Batman. I thought that was a really good interpretation. Yeah, I really like that too.
And so I got my one wish. That was if I could have had any villain, that's the one I wanted, and that's the way I wanted it to be done, and that's exactly what I got. So I'm super happy. But if you said, well, who do you want now? It's like, well, actually, I'm good because I got what I always wanted. So now anything else is just a bonus, right? So I don't think it will happen, but I would like Poison Ivy to be the villain of the next film.
Right, yeah.
Not the main villain, but a villain. My actual
She could be the main villain though, potentially, right? If they do an interesting version of her, like I could see that working.
so it'd have to be a more grounded version. So I'm thinking that she's a sort of femme fatale who marries rich guys, like a sort of
Yeah.
Black Widow type character. She marries rich guys and then kills them off with poison, undetectable poison, and makes it look like they've had a heart attack or a stroke or something else, and or even that they're drugged so that they have a car crash and then die, but then there's nothing detectable in their system during the autopsy, things like that. So she's always inherited money,
Yeah, but what's
and
that got to do with like plants?
because you get the poison from plants, right?
I guess so. It's not very like fantastical, but I mean that is what he said,
We're
right? That he's
going
not
for
going to get it.
grounded, right? We're going for gritty realism. I don't
I don't
think
know.
he's
I'd
going to be
kind of
like
like a bit of plant
controlling
stuff
giant
involved.
Venus flytraps and things like that. Like I don't think we're going to get that. But then I was thinking
No, I
like,
don't think so either.
but then I'm thinking here's how I'm going to hook into the corruption and everything, right? With my idea. So I'm thinking like a Sharon Stone sort of character from Basic Instinct, something like that.
Yeah.
She's one of these women that can become what a man wants. You know, she'll study her victim, a particular man. She'll research him. She'll find out what he likes, what his interests are, what he looks for in a woman, all this stuff, and she'll become that thing, right? So that she's attractive specifically to him. So when he sees her, it's like that's the woman of his dreams, sort of thing. She does that. She marries these people, and then she either kills them for their money, or she ends up finding out their secrets and then blackmailing them
Ah, yeah.
and using that against. So if you don't give me this much money, I'm gonna go to the press and let the truth out about whatever it is you've been covering up, whatever skeletons you got in your closet. Now here's what I'm thinking. What if she develops a relationship with Bruce Wayne and Bruce Wayne
Ah,
falls for her and then he tells her that he's Batman because he thinks that they're both in love and he doesn't want to hide this thing from her. So he's like, I'm gonna tell her who I am,
oh,
right? And then she's like, basically blackmails him with this information. But then we find out that she works for the Court of Owls, that she's a member of the Court of Owls. And that's so when she's been blackmailing other rich, influential people, politicians, and people like bankers, all these people in power, she blackmails them and then uses that information against them and uses it as leverage. The Court of Owls now has like the judge, the politician, the whoever in their pocket. And that's part of how they maintain control with this corruption. And she's just one of their agents. But this time, she didn't know it when she was forming this relationship with Batman. But she
yeah,
hit the
yeah.
jackpot because she finds out he's Batman, and she's got this knowledge.
That is pretty cool, actually. Do you think he would do that though?
Well, he's done it in other movies. Like
Hmm.
Bruce Wayne wanted to tell Vicky Vale that he was Batman in the first film. He told Selina that he was Batman in Batman Returns. He ripped his mask off. Do you remember at the end? And he says, "We're the
Yeah.
same." He told Chase Meridian in Batman Forever.
Yeah, but I don't know if
He
like
told Rachel in Batman Begins. It's like it goes
yeah,
on
it's
and on.
true. I don't know if I could see this Batman doing that, but maybe.
But it could be
But
that
then
new
that's what he said.
side
He
of his
wanted to
character.
explore a different side, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it could be like this Bruce Wayne feeling like he's
Which
found
is
his
kind of cool,
soulmate.
actually.
Maybe he thinks he's found his soulmate. She's just like him. That's what I mean. That's what she's good at. She presents what you want. She's so good at the con that Bruce Wayne feels like he's found like the perfect person that he can share his life with, that he can be truly honest with, and he knows that she'll accept him for who he is and what he does and all that. Or so he thinks, and that he shares it with her. He shares that knowledge with her.
That would be very stupid of him.
Or she puts something like she gives him something administered in his food or his drink, and it makes him susceptible to telling truth. And that's how she also gains leverage and blackmail over people. And then we find out that she's working for the Court of Owls, or she's
Yeah.
she's a member of the Court of Owls, and she's one of their agents, and that's part of how they exert control and gain lots of information from a lot of men in authority.
But I do think though that a cool like I know I'm obsessed with the plant thing, but I think there is something kind of very creepy and dark about like or can be with plant stuff. And like the idea of something grow like she puts something that grows inside people maybe
But in their
could
brain
be
or
kind of cool.
something.
Yeah, not necessarily fantastically. I mean, it technically would be because like there's no such thing, right? But you know what I mean? Like it's something like that's growing in them, and it could even manipulate them, or it could make them slowly die, or whatever, but in like a horrible way. There's
And
some really
maybe
dark you could do with that, basically. Not necessarily fantastically. I mean, it technically would be because like there's no such thing, right? But you know what I mean? Like it's something like that's growing in them, and it could even manipulate them, or it could make them slowly die, or whatever, but in like a horrible way.
who do you think could play her? Who's the most attractive woman working in Hollywood?
Sydney Sweeney.
But do you think that she's got the? She's a
I
great
mean,
actress. Don't get me wrong. No, she is actually really good. But I just mean,
you
is
loved
she?
her in Madam Web, didn't you? You
I
saw
was
that
one
at
of the few
drive-through.
people in the world that I actually did think it was all right, that movie. Like everyone was like, "This is the worst movie ever," and I went into it thinking it was going to be, and then I was like, "You know what? Fun with that." I kind of enjoyed it.
So what do you think then? Sydney Sweeney.
No, I don't think she's the right part for that specific.
Okay.
But yeah, somebody hot that has a bit of weight to her. That I mean, that she's pretty much the default that anyone would think. But I guess I could
Because
see it though. Actually, I could see it.
Poison
Yeah, with Poison
Ivy,
Ivy. Now that I think
the
about it.
Poison Ivy character is meant to be the most attractive woman in the world,
Yeah,
irresistible
exactly.
to
Yeah,
men,
and
you
I
know.
think I mean she is definitely one of the
If
hottest
there's one
actresses
actress
in.
you are casting, because the looks have to be super important, right?
Yeah. What
She has
about
to be
Anna
like
Anna
irresistible.
de
Anna de Armas. So my pick would be Aubrey Plaza because she's off. She's kooky, but maybe kooky's not right for Poison Ivy. That's the thing, right?
depends
I
what
mean,
type you're trying to go for, but
yeah,
yeah, I
I
don't think I see her in
yeah.
that role actually.
What about Jennifer Lawrence?
Oh, I love her.
Now she's a great
She's
actress as well,
brilliant.
right?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I could maybe see her doing that. It's definitely very different from what she's done before, but she's a good enough actress that she could probably adapt to something different like that, right?
Yeah.
I just saw a movie with her and Robert Pattinson. There are a lot of good things about it. Um, but I overall did not enjoy the movie actually. But it is a like their acting, both of them, is top notch, like 10 out of 10 acting. Like it could be no better. I just thought it was a bit meh, if you know what I
What was
mean. You
it
just
called?
kind
Can
of
you
like
remember the
it's okay.
title?
I found it. Yeah, I just looked it up. Die My Love to
I watched
Kill.
them do an interview on YouTube the other day where they both took a lie detector test and they were
Oh, I
asking each
watched
other
that
questions.
too. Oh God, it's brilliant, isn't it?
But I don't
Oh,
believe
it's
that machine was working because
yeah, yeah.
they were both
Oh, it's
lying.
so funny though. These two are so good together. Like it's so they oh man. Like when he thought he was a Gen Z or whatever, he's like, I'm Gen Z, and she's like,
He's
you
like, well, I
just
can
lie,
be if
man.
I
You
identify as Gen
yeah,
Z.
yeah.
He
And
loves to
she's like,
troll
no,
people.
you're not. You're just not. He does love to troll me. That's exactly what I
Because
said.
you remember
Yeah.
when before the Batman came out, they said, "Are you working out and everything?" It's like, well, not really.
Yeah, not really. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
that's fantastic.
they gave me what was it? What are those balls that the people exercise on? Like those big
Yeah,
rubber balls.
the like the ones you can kind of like
And he's like, "Well, that fell off
Yeah,
me, and
yeah,
it rolled away, and I didn't bother after that." And he's, I've got one dumbbell or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It's brilliant
And
and
obviously, like a lot of
fantastic.
people online was like furious with that. Like, he's
Yeah, they
not
did.
taking the part
Didn't he
seriously.
say like his favorite movie was Batman and Robin or something as well, or
No, he
something
said
like
he
that?
was watching Batman and Robin as part of his research for the
Oh,
character.
right, okay.
Yeah, like he
Oh
does
man,
troll people
I
all the
would
time.
totally be like him though,
But
trolling the
it's the
fans and
way he
everything.
does it, right? Because he's got a very sort of dry sense of humor. So
He
when he says
does.
these things, he doesn't. If you look at his face, people believe him. He doesn't do
I
it like a big
know, I
grin on his
know.
face. He does it straight. My sense of humor is very
Ah, I
much
love it.
like him, so I totally get it, like what he's doing. Like, and
Yeah,
it
same.
appeals to me. But I know a lot of people, it just goes over their head, and they take him at his word all the time.
Emma Stone, she's bad. Yeah, what? Who said that?
So out of
Okay.
those ones we've mentioned, which would be your pick?
Honestly,
Zendaya?
Emma. Okay, honestly, it's just throwing Zendaya in there randomly
Might
now.
as well throw her in as well.
Um.
Although, how old? She seems a bit young though. Is she young?
Uh. Yeah, she's pretty young.
Yeah, too
I.
young for Robert
I don't.
Pattinson?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Well, Robert Pattinson, he's mid-30s, isn't he?
I think he's late 30s, like 38, 39.
39. Okay, okay, he's 39.
It's basically what
Uh,
you look like though, isn't it? If you can pull off older or younger, then it works, right?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Stone.
Okay.
Lots of conversation about who could play Poison Ivy. But Firefly, I feel he'd be a little bit too much like the Riddler adaptation, though. I don't know.
So Firefly is a
He,
pyromaniac.
yeah, he's a much lesser known villain
Hmm.
compared to like Poison Ivy, but he was pretty cool in the Arkham games. He'd be cool to see. But
I couldn't see him as a main villain, but I could see him as a secondary villain.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe a
Maybe
little.
he's burning down buildings for insurance money and things like that. Like he's not just a complete loon, but like he's actually making money out of this,
Yeah,
what he does. And maybe that could be tied to the corruption that's going on. Like powerful people want to build new like housing, like new projects, and there's poorer people and their housing, which just happens to be in the way, and those people will not move. And so they pay someone like Firefly to just take those buildings out, clearing the way for them. Something like that maybe could tie into this
yeah,
epic crime saga.
that'd be fun. Who can consistently play crazy characters? This is kind of a weird thing because he doesn't do many serious movies. But Woody Harrelson can kind of play some crazy characters, some crazy silly characters. And Firefly is kind of a crazy guy.
I could see that. Yeah.
I could s- I could see Woody Harrelson playing a really good Firefly.
Who's that guy? He was in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, Steve Buscemi? You
Yeah,
think
I'm
he you
I'm
you
thinking
think
him.
you think he could do it?
Yeah. Yeah. I could just see him kind of like that sort of creep that hangs around watching starts the fire and then he's watching from the shadows,
Yeah, maybe
watching it,
maybe
watching his work.
maybe I'm thinking too much of like the Arkham
Uh,
games where he was like a crazy guy
I
where
could
he was
see
like
Steve Buscemi as the Mad Hatter, like the Arkham version of the
yeah,
Mad
I was gonna say I think he'd more fit the Mad Hatter.
Hatter.
And I think you need someone who can get a little crazy. Not that Steve Buscemi hasn't played crazy guys. I mean, he played that guy in Fargo who was pretty crazy.
Hmm.
I just think he plays a lot more of the calm and collected kind of guy.
I am a big fan of this potential scarecrow situation. I think you could do something cool with him. Like I
I
thought
knew
that
that would
in
be your one. I knew you'd go for
how did
Scarecrow.
you know that?
Yeah.
I feel like there could be something, it could be kind of cool, but maybe again it's a bit too like fantastical.
No, I think
Like
Scarecrow could easily work. I mean, we
yeah,
saw it
because
work
it's
in Batman Begins, and that was a realistic version.
yeah, but it's not. It's not like I want to see a bit more like something really creepy, I guess, with it. And
Like
because I feel like that
you
fits
want
because
the
the
full
Batman.
costume, do you? Like the full Scarecrow
Well,
costume.
I want the manipulation of the mind, right? I
Yeah.
want that. I like the idea. It's not so
It's
much
not
the
just
costume.
scaring you, it's actually making you like see and do things and participate in things that, like you want that,
That's
right? More
exactly that's what I
psychological.
like. Yeah, so it's not so much that like the yeah, like the costume or anything, but it's more like just seeing like people getting screwed up and doing weird stuff and like I don't know, I feel like that would be really interesting because it's quite creepy, like how
Yeah.
it can mess people up. I think it just fits with this whole like Robert Pattinson kind of like messed up guy as well, and like the darkness of it, the Batman. Like I want to see more of this, and I think it would fit these kind of characters. I just hope he doesn't do anything too crazy, right? Like have like Killer Croc or something or whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I mean,
So,
because was Killer Croc in any of the movies? I don't think so,
no,
right?
no, we haven't had Killer
So
Croc.
we could have Killer
We haven't
Croc,
had Clayface. He's a very
right?
fantastic one. We're
Clayface,
getting a
yeah,
Clayface movie from the DCU, which is going to be a horror film apparently, like an
right,
18 rated horror film. If you wanted to go like you wanted to throw a few B level or C level villains in there, you could go like Scarface is a favorite of mine.
right,
The
yeah,
ventriloquist. It's like this like diminutive old man that wouldn't hurt a fly, but he puts his hand up this puppet, and suddenly the puppet's like get issuing the orders, slapping him around the
yeah,
face,
yeah,
calling
yeah.
him a dummy and stuff like that. That would be amusing to see. Um,
That would be kind of cool.
yeah, I feel like when you're talking about like the A-list villains, though, we've pretty much had them all at this point, right? In all the films that there's been, I feel like we've kind of like done them all. I personally wouldn't put Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, Clayface, any of those people, even Doctor Strange. I wouldn't put them in A tier.
No, no,
I would put them in B tier, and then I would
yeah,
put people like the ventriloquist in like C tier. So, and I think like the A tier's all been covered, really.
yeah, yeah. But that makes sense though that they probably won't do an A tier for that reason, right? And
Yeah,
sometimes the B tiers and the C tiers could be worse just because they've not been done particularly well, but they could be done better, right, as well.
yeah.
So I do think there's opportunity to make a really cool
I remember like when
interpretation of
Batman
them.
Begins came out, and I learnt that like the villains was going to be Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow. I remember thinking, what a weird pairing. Like
Yeah.
the characters are cool, but I thought it's weird to have those two characters in the same movie. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, how can that work? How's that going to work out? But it did. It worked out wonderfully. But it just shows you, right? It could be something like really out there, but somehow Matt Reeves will make it work.
Good old Matt Reeves.
Egghead from the 60s. He brings Egghead into live action.
Oh man.
So here's another bit of information. The Penguin series took place 1 week after the end of the movie. Batman Part 2 takes place 1 week after the Penguin series.
Mm.
Yeah, so they're very close to. So even though the movies like going to be like what 5 years apart between the two movies, it only takes place like a couple of weeks later.
Right, okay.
Colin Farrell said when the script was sent to him, he attempted to read it. He started to read it and he was like, "This is too dense." I can't handle this right now because
Oh
he was
man.
tired and he just put it down and he went off to bed basically went to do something else. And then a few days later, he said he sat down, boiled some tea, packet of biscuits, sat in the corner in a comfy chair and read it back to back. And he's like, it's really good, but it's like he said he described it as being a masterwork, extraordinary. He said it's deeper and scarier than the first film. He said he described it as brilliant, emotionally moving, and intelligent, and noting that Matt Reeves has crafted a powerful and well-written story for both himself and Robert Pattinson. He did also said that his part is smaller in part two.
Oh.
Mm.
Hmm.
And his part was fairly small in part one, but it didn't feel small because he was peppered throughout the movie though. But I'm okay with that, right? I don't need the Penguin to be have a ginormous part in the film because we had a whole TV series from him.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because what it's not meant to be about him, is it?
Who would you like to play Scarecrow if you got your way and had Scarecrow?
Uh, Phoenix guy, from Joker.
That would be weird, wouldn't it? Whacking Phoenix is now the Scarecrow. That would be too weird, right? I mean, he could do it for sure. He's a good enough actor.
That's what I was thinking. He's such a good actor. He's very good
But
at doing
yeah, but that would be
fucked up
so
stuff as
weird,
well.
wouldn't it? Yeah, no, he would be for sure, right?
I feel like he would be my pick if I could do, but it would be weird because it's not that. But would it? Yeah, it would be weird. It would be weird.
Do you think we'll see Robin in this movie?
Oh man, I don't know about that though, because it's just so weird nowadays, right? All this type of thing. He sees a child and I don't know, it just feels so off. Like, I guess it's the time when people were like, didn't have any thoughts like about that being kind of weird, right? Pedo-y, but
In any way, shape, or form. Doesn't have to be like the kid in the spandex or anything like that. But remember,
oh
like what
man.
Nolan did with his movie. It wasn't really Robin, was it?
Oh. Um, maybe there'll be kind of like a little homage to it in some way, but I don't think we'll get a proper. Yeah, I don't think we'll get like any kind of proper Robin, but maybe somebody will just be called Robin or something like that.
Unless you're going to do something properly with the character, there's no point, is there? Like, unless a movie would do that sort of thing, right? They would do that
Yes.
sort of
I don't know. I still don't think it's necessarily a good thing at all now.
like for
I think,
example, in the Batman, in Bruce Wayne's study, there is a like a bust of Shakespeare, like on a shelf, I think, like on a bookshelf or on a table or
mm,
something like that. And that's a callback to the 1966 Batman TV show because if you remember, like when Bruce Wayne in that show used to go down the greasy pole to the Batcave with Robin, he would like pull back the head of the bust and there'd be a button in there that he would press and
oh
it would
yeah.
open up the secret bookcase. Like, and that was in the room in the Batman. But it was a natural, it wasn't like a secret button in there or anything like that. It was just like it was in the background that like a fan might notice and go, oh, that's a cool Easter egg. Things like that I'm cool with because I'm like it it doesn't feel egregious to me. Like it's a
Yeah.
that's a cool Easter egg. But when you're actually taking time to set up a character or introduce a character, even like unless it's just like a walk past sort of thing, like it feels like that's when it's just like, don't do this. We ain't got time for this nonsense, like let's stay on target, That's how I feel. I think
Leaves a
like
sour taste in my mouth, that stuff nowadays. I'm like, oh, not again. But I no, I agree. I don't think Matt Reeves would do that either. I just don't think he seems more classy.
but with the Joker,
Oh yeah, that was kind of like that in a
that
way, wasn't
is
it?
to me,
Yeah.
that is more than an Easter egg. That is setting up his character in a sequel, isn't it? Like
Hmm.
there's no way Matt Reeves went to the effort of casting Barry Keoghan and like going for the work of creating the makeup effect and all that stuff, right? And writing the scene, well, two scenes, but one got deleted. You wouldn't do all of that unless there was like I mean, originally there was a purpose for the character being in the movie because he actually in the deleted scene he does give Batman information that helps him catch the Riddler. But then when they were like putting the movie together in the edit, Matt Reeves realized he doesn't even need the scene because Batman already can gather that information on his own, basically. So it's like it was ended up being pointless. A good scene, but kind of pointless. So he's like, there's no need to give the same information twice, essentially. So he deleted it, but then left the bit in at the end, which the end bit is what you end up with. The final product is kind of like a hook, isn't it, for a sequel?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but I do believe that Matt does intend to do something with the Joker. Like,
Oh,
if
definitely, yeah.
like I would I'm pretty sure we will see him in part two, the Joker, even if it's a smaller part still, even if he's not the
Yeah.
main villain. And I think like at one point he will though. He will have that major part. That's what I think.
I think you're right, and I know you're saying that because I guess one of the thoughts I had, which is maybe kind of what people would expect to have in a way, is oh yeah, he's probably going to be the main guy in the next one, right? But obviously, yeah, I think it was more of a grand plan, like oh, we'll have him as the main one in maybe the third movie,
Possibly, yeah.
main villain. I mean, that might
Now,
not even happen. Maybe he's always going to be like a more side villain,
be weird
but
if he
maybe
never becomes anything more than like a guy
yeah.
in Arkham, though.
Well, and it's like you were saying before, right? Like how somebody like that, that kind of villain inevitably becomes the main character in a way because he's such a not I don't want to say you powerful because but like powerful as in takes over the scene, right? Takes over the stage, if you want to call it that. Like it's like he just has that presence, right? So he's inevitably yeah. If and when he comes out of there and he's like actually becoming a proper villain for Batman, then I think yeah, I think he would be the main villain, right, for the movie. But probably maybe the third one, or I mean we're only guessing at this point, right? We've no
Yeah.
idea.
Well,
It'd
there
be
we
kind
are.
of
We're
interesting to look
speculating.
back at this. Yeah, yeah. But it'd be interesting to look back at this, right, and then be like, oh God, we were completely off. Or
That's what I'm actually gonna enjoy, like re-listening to this, like in a couple of years' time, after we've seen the movie, and just see how wrong we were, or if we was
yeah,
right at least on one little thing, like, but probably not on any of it. Like, it'd be fun to see, right? Fun to re-listen.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that too.
speaking of the Joker, a lot of people, a lot of fans were not happy with the makeup for the Joker in the Batman.
Hmm.
What's your view on the makeup? Specifically, just how he looks? Because
Um,
we don't see a great deal of the guy in the movie, but and it's very dark, but uh,
yeah, it's
like
purposely like,
you see enough though to get an impression.
yeah.
And yeah, so what do you think based on what we saw? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you not
Well, I tell you
mind
what,
it?
I know I'm slightly going against the question here, but I'm super happy that it's Barry Keoghan doing it. Like I really like that guy. I think he's a great actor, and yeah. But yeah, like in terms of the look, I don't know. Like I thought it would look, I thought it looked cool. Like I mean, I think one of the reasons why it was purposely somewhat occluded, I bet, was to give the chance that it could change a little bit as well.
Yeah,
Like it could be like a what's his name, Gollum in Lord of the Rings situation, right? Where you're like, oh,
yeah.
we'll sort of make it, make him kind of like not super visible, so that we could completely change him if we
It's
really
funny
wanted to.
though, because even though you
I mean,
only
it's still
really
weird that
see
to
his
me, though.
eyes, he does look different though, doesn't he?
Completely different, yeah,
And the same
yeah.
thing happened with Snoke in Star Wars, right?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
see him as a hologram in The Force Awakens, and then when you see him in live action in Episode 8, he looks quite different.
That was disappointing. That very, very disappointing to me. I was super excited to have
But
him
that was, but in
in the
that case,
team.
that was a different director, right?
Yeah, and it was obvious that he
With their own
wanted
visions.
different. Yeah, he had a different idea about it, right? He just didn't want him to be
And then I was
the
thinking
bad
of
guy.
the Emperor as well in the original Star Wars trilogy. You first see him as a hologram in Empire Strikes Back, and what they did with that is I think the actor was Clive Revel, and then they had no, I think he did the voice, and then it was actually a woman that played the Emperor, believe it or not, with these baboon eyes sort of superimposed over her face in hologram. But it all works. And then when they did Return of the Jedi, they were like, well, we can't do all that again. Like now we got the guy in the same room in the flesh. Like we can't do that. We've got to change it. And Lucas
Mm,
obviously thought, well, it's fine because it was just a hologram and that but yeah, so but again, Lucas was making that up as he went. Even though he's in the year since he said no, no, I had it all planned out and everything. We all know, like fans of Star Wars that really know the history of the stuff, we know that that isn't really the case. And so he was making a lot of it up as he went along. But with
mm.
Matt Reeves, this is the same guy making the sequel. It's his vision. He's not passing the baton to another director with a different vision. And I don't think it's the same case of like not knowing what he's doing. I think he knows what he's doing, and I think he kept it dark not because it gives him a way of altering it if he wants to, but more just because he wanted to. It's the mood he was going for, like he wanted to sort of hint at the character and keep him a bit mysterious and sort of tease him like before you see him like in bright light in a future film.
Yeah, yeah. I think
But
that's probably true, yeah. And
but
sometimes it's what you don't see as well.
it does give him though, like, but it does give him the opportunity to change it a bit,
Hmm.
well, quite a bit actually, because in a deleted scene, you see more of the Joker, right? You see more of what he looks like, but that's a deleted scene. That's not canon. The only
Right,
bit in the actual
right,
finished
yeah.
movie we have is right at the very end, and you
Hmm.
see even less of him, and it's even darker. So he does have the opportunity to change it quite a bit if he wants to. The question is, does he want to? He,
Yeah,
he
does he
would
want
have
to? Yeah.
heard the fan feedback. He would have heard that a lot of people are not happy with it. Um,
But I mean, what are people not happy about? Is it just because they're not happy with because he doesn't look like Joker in Dark Knight and all that? Because like, is that what it is? Is it people have the expectation that they're like, oh, it's different, if you know what I mean, or
I
even Joker in the other in the movie Joker, right? Is because I guess I mean yeah.
I think it's because he's so grotesque. I've seen the images brightened, and it's really uncomfortable. I find it uncomfortable to look at because
Oh,
it's so grotesque that I don't even like looking at him, you know.
right.
And so I think a lot of people had a sort of a visceral reaction to that. And personally speaking, I do prefer the Joker that is more of the classic look, the guy that sort of even though he's fallen into chemicals and his skin's bleached white and he's got green hair, he still bizarrely takes a pride in his appearance. And so
Oh
he's still
yeah,
wearing like
yeah,
he still combs his hair back and he's still wearing like a suit. He's got a purple suit and all that sort of stuff. Like kind of like the Jack Nicholson Joker, really. Like I
yeah.
find that of the live action versions of the Joker that we've had, my favorite is the Jack Nicholson version because I do like the classic white look to the face, not makeup but acid, and that he's got that dapper appearance and stuff, and that's my preferred version. But I can't say that that's the comic book version because like fans of Batman, the comics, they know that over the decades the character has changed dramatically depending on what version you're reading, There are versions that look more like the Matt Reeves version where he does look hideous, and then
Mm.
there is the version, so it, you can't say, well, that's not comic accurate because there is no such thing as comic accurate because there's so many different versions of Joker in the way he acts and the way he looks. So it's just personal preference. My personal preference would be something more like Jack Nicholson, um, and less like what we've got. But I'm not. I wouldn't be like, well, I demand this or I demand that or anything like that. I'm just, if if Matt decided to tone it down a bit in the sequel, I would be happy. If he doesn't, again, it's like, well, it's his film. He does what he wants,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
maybe it wins me over on it anyway. Maybe when I see more of it and I see it in context of what's going on and what's revealed, maybe about the character and like it might work more for me. But from the little I've seen, it's like I'm not too keen on the visual look. But the way it was acted by Barry, I did like his performance. I thought he did a like with the little brief time he had. I think he done a good job.
Yeah.
Some people said, well, he's ripping off Heath Ledger, right? But I don't think he is because Heath Ledger, for example, he had that when he would laugh and he would do his Joker laugh, it was put on. And I mean in the sense that not the actor, but the character Joker put the laugh on. It wasn't his natural laugh. He wasn't, but with Barry Keoghan, when he laughs in that film, you feel the insanity of that character. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's genuinely laughing because he does find it amusing or hysterical. Uh, that's
That's
different.
an
That is
interesting
very different
observation.
from
Yeah.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do
Yeah.
find. I mean, you're going to see similarities. You can see similarities in all the versions of the Joker we've had in live action.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I, I mean, it'd be weird if there wasn't, But I feel like there was enough different to make it its own unique thing, even from the
Mm.
little bit we got. So I'm looking forward to seeing more, hopefully.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. And like I say, with Barry playing it as well, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Yeah.
The timing of the film is interesting because the we know that the Penguin series takes place 1 week after the end of the movie. And we've been told that the second movie takes place 1 week after the end of the Penguin series. So, based on when we know the end that the Batman took place, that means that we're looking for a sort of mid to late December setting for the Batman Part 2.
Well, that's cool though. Like that
Yeah, exactly. So
Christmassy thing,
people
just like returns.
immediately, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Even before I say any Batman fan, they immediately go, "Oh, Batman
Yeah.
Returns,
Yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah.
snow. Could we see snow?" Like everyone wants it, that visual of because the first movie it's all rain, wasn't it? It was that film noir. It's like pouring. It's always raining. Could we see snow in the sequel?
Man, I hope so. That would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see. I think that like Gothic Gotham would be beautiful to see under the snow.
I have an idea. In the Batman, Alfred says to Bruce that he gives him this warning. He says like basically like you need to start paying attention to what's going on with your company because basically it could be heading into financial trouble. I, I can't remember the exact words off the top of my head, but essentially that's the gist of it. And Bruce responds by saying that he doesn't care like what happens to the company. And Alfred's like, well, it's your legacy, it's your family's legacy. And he said, no, this is my family's legacy, what I'm doing as Batman. But I wonder
Hmm.
if that could be something that could be followed up in part two, where could we see a bankrupt Bruce Wayne? Like,
Ah.
could he lose the company? Or, like, I mean, that's an extreme event, but like, imagine if you had like a Bruce Wayne that's like thrown out of Wayne Tower. Like, what if he lost it all? And then essentially see this homeless Bruce Wayne who, how do you continue to be Batman without the money to fund the operation? You know,
Well, I
the
could definitely see Robert Pattinson doing that part well as well, because like he really did that kind of screwed up, like obsessed part super
I mean
well.
that because they did say the
And
sequel's going to be darker, didn't
yeah,
they?
they did.
Like, so it's like, imagine that's pretty dark, isn't it? It's like, imagine losing the tower above your head, right? But the underground section, which he would seal off in some way, right? He still goes
He'd
under
still live
there. He
there.
still
You'd have to
acts.
just
He
live there, wouldn't
basically lives under there, right? Under.
he?
He
Yeah.
literally would then be living underground, literally.
I feel like that would fit the character though, wouldn't it? And then yeah, so then he would, but then maybe that at some point things will turn around. And maybe that's what would lead to him eventually getting Wayne Manor back. Like maybe by the third movie or something.
Yeah, maybe he just goes. It
He
looks
goes poor to
really
get rich.
bleak, and it looks like he's losing everything. But like he manages to sort of turn things around. He turns his attention to the company. He manages to like pull it back. Maybe he loses large portions of the company and has to sell parts off and things like that. But maybe he holds on to enough, so he's still like rich, but he's not super rich. You know, he's like he's a millionaire. He's not a billionaire anymore or something. You know, like he's still got enough money to fund his Batman endeavors, you know.
I don't want to quite see him go bankrupt, though. I think that's maybe a little extreme.
Yeah.
Come on, he's supposed to be rich and be able to afford everything, not
Will
be
Bruce
broke.
Wayne get a better haircut in the next movie?
Oh my God. Yeah, that one might get some pushback from the fans as well. Oh my God.
If we're looking at a Bruce Wayne that's sort of going more public, right, and he's got, then I assume he would get a better haircut.
Yeah,
I mean, do
yeah.
you think his haircut was bad in the Batman or
No,
not?
no, I don't think it was that bad.
It's not bad. It's not a
Maybe,
bad haircut.
maybe,
It's
maybe
just
your British standards are too high for haircuts.
it's not
Like
a
what?
bad haircut. It's just not what I expect from Bruce Wayne. You know, you look at Bruce Wayne in like Batman Begins, like when Christian Bale turns up at like when he turns up at Wayne Enterprises and or whatever, like that's the kind of haircut you expect from Bruce Wayne, right? Or the sort of haircut that Val Kilmer had, or something like that. You know, as Bruce Wayne. Like it was a little. I think it's because he's not going out in public. You know, his hair's just a bit too long because he hasn't had a haircut for a while because he doesn't care because he's not going out. You know, and I think that haircut that he had in the film just sort of reflected that.
True.
But if he is going to be going out more in public, I think I do expect him to get a haircut.
It'd be
But
fun to.
I know trivial questions at the end, but just questions a fan wonders about.
Oh dear.
Do you think the suit that we saw in part one will be the same thing exactly, or do you think they'll tweak it, or do you think it'll be radically different?
Hmm.
Because
I
it takes a lot of damage at the end of the first movie. You know, he gets shotgunned to the chest. There's
true.
literally a hole in it in the armor. The cow's pretty dinged up as well. I mean, it's actually showed damage, battle damage in the movie anyway. Like as soon as we
Yeah,
see
but
it.
it would be cool if you saw more, if you still saw some of that in the next one, though, right? I don't know. I'm always a big fan of like when you actually see like the damage continue to some extent.
I mean,
Obviously, he's gonna have
he'd
to
have to
repair some of it.
change. Yeah, that the chest piece literally has a hole in the middle of it, so he'd have
Yeah,
to
so he's
switch that
gonna,
out.
yeah, he's gonna have to repair some
But
of it like
so
that.
would
But
you? So you'd like them to
I,
basically keep it as it is, but just
yeah, I would, yeah.
yeah.
So that you, and then you see some of that kind of battle
It'd
damage
be
going
interesting
on,
because
and
it's
I love
only
that.
yeah. So we're talking like a couple of weeks after the first movie when we see him again. It'd be interesting if you see it's the same suit, but the chest piece that got damaged, that's all like more shiny and new. Like you can see where it's like that's a
Oh
new
man,
piece.
that would be cool. Yeah,
Kind of like when you
like it's
see a
noticeably new.
yeah,
Yeah,
like kind of like when you see like a car and it's got a different door on it or something where someone's replaced it at the
yeah.
because they've lost the door or
Oh,
something.
I like that a lot, actually. I think that would be cool. And then it's very obvious that it's still the same suit, but it's just repaired that. that one
Yeah, I
piece.
think because of the timeline as well, it'd be weird if it was a totally new suit and it's just two
Well,
weeks
yeah,
later.
it's only a couple of weeks, you said. Like it's like
Yeah, and like you, I do
not much
like
in it.
that we see a suit that is battle damaged anyway, right? It's clearly a suit that's like he's been wearing it for like over a year, and it's like it's got a lot of dings to it, and like this like things like I think on the cow, isn't it? It's like a chip above the eyebrow where someone's
Mm.
like hacked into it. So yeah, I think
Yeah, they've already made it look scarred, haven't they? They've already kind of yeah, they've done a bit of weathering on it, which is really cool.
yeah.
I
So
like that. Yeah.
all right, so yeah, we're on the same side. Maybe I would like the neck altered a little bit to give it more that Batman silhouette, but then I don't know how you do that and don't lose the mobility, you know, because that's the thing. Like this is a very functional outfit.
I know, I like that though. I like the fact
Yeah,
it's very functional.
yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah,
But to change the cowl would be even more weird, right? Because there's no need to change that because that wasn't really damaged in the film. Like it's really just the chess piece that needs to be changed. The rest of it, essentially, narratively speaking, you wouldn't need to switch that out anyway. So
yeah,
I think it'll probably be identical, right? I think we'll basically go into the film with it looking the same as it was before, which I'm totally fine with.
yeah, yeah, me too. I think that's what's gonna happen as well.
Now, how long do you think the film will be? Because the first film was 3 hours. Are we looking at another 3 hour movie, do you think?
I think it's going to be similar length to the first movie.
Maybe, or maybe just a little bit shorter, but
I mean, I can't see Warner Brothers actually caring. They didn't seem to care the first time round. I mean, I know that James Gunn's involved this time and he wasn't before, so it'd be interesting to see if he has any
yeah.
sort of strong feelings about it. I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that like normally studios are pretty cool with longer cuts these days because when it inevitably goes to streaming, the like with streaming, they measure everything by minutes watched. So the longer a film is, the more minutes watched, the more money it's generating. So
What?
yeah, that's what I heard. So it's almost like it's encouraged to have longer. That's kind of like
That's some
why we have
weird.
this trend
Hmm.
of longer movies these days, where everything's sort
Oh
of
man,
2 hours and 20, 2.5 hours for like lots of films these days.
I hate that though.
But then you've also got the other side where because people film digitally now, the cost is not the same. Like in the past, like the cost of actually filming on film was high, and so there was an economic reason to keep the film sort of 2 hours and less as well, you know. And then, you try and pack in showings of the film as well, as many as you could in a day and things like that. Where it seems like the whole business model has sort of changed quite a bit over the years to the point where I don't think like a long film is a problem for the studios anymore. It might be an advantage.
That's interesting about the streaming. Yeah.
Now, some people did complain about the length of the first
My,
movie.
my dad was one of them.
Hmm.
He thought it was too long.
I think it's going to be a long film because just going by what Colin Farrell said, he said the script was dense. So
Oh
it
yeah.
sounds like it's another like kind of epic length movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't go past 3.5 hours, I'll be fine.
I want intermissions brought back for long movies. I really do. Like, just give us 10 minutes, 10-minute intermission. Just let us go to the bathroom, grab a refill of our drink, of our chosen beverage, and, just give us, if you're going to 3 hours, I feel like any film that's 3 hours and above should have an intermission. Should just be a rule. I think the longest film I've seen in the cinema was Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Oh wow.
And I think even though that was the cinematic version, not the extended, it was still what, like 3.5 hours long or something.
It's pretty long.
I remember like really needing to use the bathroom, and it just kept going. You get all these endings. So you're getting an ending or a resolution for every character. And that's what it felt like when I'm sitting there and I'm just like, please let this end. And I love the film. I love the film, but I was like, I can't leave now. I'm right at the end. But I was just willing the film to end so I could rush to the bathroom. What about the rating then? In the UK, it was rated 15, which surprised me.
So over here, the first one was PG-13,
Hmm.
but our ratings don't mean anything over here. Really.
I don't think it'll be an R-rated movie.
I don't think so. It'll it
No.
I think it'll push the boundaries of PG-13.
Mm. So I think in the US it's a non-issue, I would say. It's
Yeah.
I would say it's all but guaranteed to be PG-13. But here it could be a 15 again. In the UK, if a movie is rated 15, you cannot go in unless you are
Oh
15 or
yeah.
over.
Oh yeah, because that's why they invented the 12A, because A meant accompanied, right? So 12 was like if you're
Advisory, isn't it?
oh, okay. You might be right, yeah.
Well, you might be right. Uh,
But it was because yeah, they invented that so that you could be 8 or whatever and go in with your parents
yep,
and it's still fine, but you're
yep.
not allowed 15 or 18.
Yeah, because the original Batman movies, like the Burton ones, they were rated 12 in the cinema and 15 on VHS because back in those days, there was no 12 rating for home video, which was weird. So
Huh.
it automatically went to a 15.
Yeah, yeah.
And then uh so yeah, if you was under 12, you could not see Batman or Batman Returns back in the day. And then it was Spider-Man, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man that introduced the 12A, which meant basically any child of any age can see it as long as the parents say it's okay.
Yeah.
But in America, you can watch any film as long as your parents or guardian say it's okay.
Uh,
But yeah, so I'm thinking that's a lot of kids that couldn't see the Batman or young, like because it was rated 15. So I'm like, that's a chunk of cash, right? That Warner Brothers just lost out on.
yeah, so I wonder if they'll have noticed that as part of the like the sales of the movie at box office.
And I do
And
wonder if it's something like that happens similar in other countries, right? I don't know about other countries in Europe, but if they have a similar age rating system where it sort of hit a threshold in some other countries as well, where it's like
yeah,
they kids couldn't see it there as well because of I don't quite know why it was rated for 15, honestly. Because when I think about the Batman, nothing sort of jumps out at me to go, oh, that's a 15 over a 12A. Does it to
yeah,
you?
true.
Like, there's no like violence in it that like or swearing or there was no sex scenes. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. There was no nudity. I don't know why it would be a 15.
yeah,
A little bit darker the than the other ones, I'd say. Like, I mean, Riddler's
Mm.
like killing people, like
Yeah,
kidnapping and killing people.
I feel like Batman Returns is more has more sort of adult content than the Batman. I
Hmm.
mean,
I think they're kind of neck and neck.
the Batman Returns is more comic booky, right? It's more fantastical. I kind of describe it as like a dark fairy tale, but it's even though it's like that, it's not as realistic. It has a lot of things going on in there that I'm not sure would be suitable for younger viewers. Like the scene where the penguin bites that guy's nose, and
Yeah.
his nose is literally gushing with blood, or the bit where he constantly is making innuendo, isn't he, at different like at filling that woman's void and
Yeah.
all those sort of all those like jokes he makes, things like that. I'm like, oof. Selena gets pushed out the window and the cats are like chewing her fingers. Um,
Yeah,
that
that was a
that was like intense as a kid. It could be a tone because I know in the UK sometimes they will rate something higher, not because of actual content, but because of the way the movie feels. So if it feels adult, or if it feels like the things happening in the film feel more believable, more possible that it could happen, they think that that might potentially upset a younger person more than it could have the same level of violence, for example, but it doesn't feel as real or you know? And so sometimes the feel of it can tip it over, not the
Yeah.
actual content.
Yeah, because I
So
mean, it had like violent scenes and stuff, but not more violent than, say, like you just said about Spider-Man. I mean, I don't think it was much more than something like that, really.
or the Dark Knight.
Yeah, that is very odd, I must admit. Maybe they will try to do something for that, but then maybe at the same time they're like, ah, screw the UK, right? They're like, we've got most of our stuff sorted out. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
I
matter
mean,
because
because the
I'm
Batman
sh
did do very well at the box office, but
yeah,
it could have
exactly. So
done
maybe they're
even better.
like,
It could
ah,
have done even
screw
better,
it.
though. I mean, these executives, they always want more money, right?
Of course.
I don't know. It's interesting, right? Because like the Batman didn't feel targeted towards children at all. Like
No,
as
it didn't.
it didn't feel like Warner Brothers was tr I mean, strangely there was merchandise targeted at kids, like toys, and there was like a children's like youth novel and things like that. But like the marketing of the movie itself did not feel targeted to younger viewers at all. Like
Yeah. But
so.
then that sometimes makes it successful with like especially teenagers, right? Because they want to sometimes they want to feel like they're an adult. And so like but then again, I feel like the Batman, it wasn't even like that, right? It wasn't like one of these things where it's like a pretend adult movie where it's kind of like it just feels more like what's the word? It's almost a bit more of a dryness to it, right? Which might not appeal to kids anyway.
Yeah,
What do
well,
you
I
think? Do
went
you
to,
think it would be?
so I did a watch party when I went to see the film. We had a big group go to see the film in IMAX, and the few days beforehand, we found out that it was rated 15. We all assumed it was 12A, right? And then we found out it was 15, and we had a couple of people in our group that were like 14. We had a couple of 14-year-olds, and we had to say like, "I'm sorry, but you can't come and see it." And but we had a couple of others that were like, I think they were like 16, 17, and they actually found it boring. Like they were like they much preferred something like Spider-Man that they'd seen a few months before that, the No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. They enjoyed that more, whereas they found the Batman a little bit boring.
Right.
But all the
Because it
adults
is a
in the group,
drier
everyone
movie, isn't
else,
it?
like yeah, like the rest of us are all adults in the group. I mean, we had like 2 rows of IMAX booked out. There was a massive group of us, and everyone else were adults, and everyone else like enjoyed it because I do think like it was an adult film.
Yeah.
I don't just mean like the content, like but just the tone of it, the story, the structure of it. It was all. If you're a younger viewer, you more likely to find it boring because there wasn't a great deal of action. It had action in it, but there was long parts where it was more psychological, more drama, which appeals to me, but I'm an adult. But I think like younger viewers kind of, I mean, even if younger viewers could have got in the UK, maybe they wouldn't have enjoyed it as much anyway. So it wouldn't have appealed to that many. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what younger people thought in America that could get into see it, you know. I don't personally know anyone that went took children or young adults with them to know what they thought about it, you know. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there's going to be outliers, right? You know, because everyone's different. You are going to have some younger viewers that did see it and did love it, you know. But I just generally speaking, I don't know how it would appeal to them. I don't think it would appeal to them that much, honestly. I think they would find it a bit slow, you know, a bit
Especially when they
ponderous.
compared to all the other like I
Yeah,
mean,
and
like
they've
you
been
just said
brought
about
up with
Spider-Man.
very
Yeah,
fast-paced movies
exactly.
and tons of action stuff. Like they've been brought up on Marvel and things. I think that this would feel, yeah, I don't know how much the general, like the mainstream of youth would be interested in it, honestly. So I
Yeah,
guess having it as a 15 and above, I don't think it probably hurt it all that much at all in hindsight.
probably not. Yeah, because well, then it's that danger, right? Because then if you then try to change the movie too much and sort of soften it up a bit, then it could then lose some of its appeal with the adults. But then the kids wouldn't have been interested anyway because it's kind of too dry.
The only thing I could think of, it just popped in my head. The only scene was like, when Falcone was strangling Selena at the end, and he was like choking her out in the club when she went to see him, and she revealed to him that she was his daughter. Maybe that's what got it in the UK, that scene.
I suppose so.
But
I mean,
but
that kind
again,
of
not
makes
because
sense, I
of not
guess.
really the content, but the the realistic
The
depiction.
graphicness. Yeah.
It's the realistic setting, Whereas, I've seen 12 movies where people are getting mowed down with guns and hacked up with swords and all kinds of things, right? But it's the tone of it, Whereas in the Batman, it felt very real.
It did, yeah.
I think that was it. It was probably the tone of that scene. That's my guess, but I don't know. Now, James Gunn said that this movie, The Batman Part 2, is coming under the umbrella of Elseworlds, which, so the idea is you've got the DCU, where everything's connected. Superman, Supergirl, Clayface, Peacemaker season two, all that stuff, all connected. And then you've got the Batman and his world, like over there to the side, and that's its own little mini universe where it's connected with the Penguin. And he said anything that doesn't belong to the DCU it's going to have the Elseworld label put to it, right?
Hmm.
And which I think is a cool idea because I'm a fan of not having everything connected. And I wonder then, do you think that's actually marketed that way on like the poster, on the trailer? Does it
I was just
have,
thinking the same thing as you were saying that. Yeah, I was like, are they
when
going to put
the,
it on the? Yeah,
because like when we see like when Superman started, for example, we see that new logo they created with Superman, don't we? We see like the old like retro Superman busting the chain that's around his chest. And I wonder if that logo, that could not be there, and it's an Elseworld logo instead at the
yeah.
beginning of
I
the
do
movie.
think that. Yeah, I do think they're going to do that
I
at
mean,
the beginning.
that would be cool.
It
I
would
don't think
actually.
it's I
Yeah.
don't think it's necessary. I don't think general audiences care all that much. I think they're just more interested in like, is it a good movie? Although they do get confused. Like I know myself that they have been confused about things where, and there's that knock-on effect as well, like if a movie does well and they liked it, they're more likely to see the sequel, even if it's not very good, because they like the previous one. And then if the previous film was bad, even if the next one's a reboot, though, they still won't see it. Like it does have this weird knock-on effect, right? So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Like, should they do it? Should they do
I
it?
think they're
Does it
not going to put
matter
it
if
on
they do it?
posters and stuff, though. I don't think
A
there'll be
little
any.
logo in the corner at the bottom of the
Maybe, yeah,
poster or
like a
something?
tiny one, but I think it's going to be very, very subtle and minute. But I think, yeah, at the beginning of the movie, my guess would definitely be that they're going to do that. Like it'll be a different version of the, logo.
Could be a
Uh,
Batman, right? So if
yeah, yeah, it
Superman's like
probably
the
will be.
official
Yeah,
DC logo for DCU,
it'll
maybe
be
the
a Batman.
official
Yeah,
like Elseworlds logo is like a Batman thing.
yeah, it could be.
Like a
Yeah, I could see that.
It would be interesting to see. It might happen. I'm not going to rule it out yet.
I think they will do it just to make it clear, especially to fans that, kind of know the universe and know what's going on a bit more. I think they'll do it. But yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be like front and center on any of the posters and material or anything, right? Can you? Like, I feel like it'll
yeah.
be very subtle. Maybe, like you said, it'll be in the bottom corner or something. It'll just say like with along with all the logos like Warner and all that, it's going to
Yeah,
say, oh yeah, DC
possibly. Yeah.
Elseworlds. Yeah,
I just as a little fan thing, I'd like to see it, but I don't think it's necessary. But it'd just be like a cool little thing to go. Yeah, like this is.
it's nice that it's disconnected.
Yeah. My guess is that doesn't happen because James Gunn has said that he doesn't consider any of this to be an issue. Because someone said, "Are you concerned that there's multiple Batmen, cinematic Batman happening at once?" And he's like, "No." And they said to him, "Well, are you concerned that general audiences would be confused?" And he said, "No." He goes, "I don't think general audiences care. See, the fans get like wrapped up in all that stuff and stressed out about all that stuff and caring about it connecting and what's canon and what's not and all that stuff." And he said, "I just think general audiences just want to see a good film. If it's a good film or the trailer looks good, they'll go and see it, and they don't care." What do you think? Think he's right or not?
I, I don't know. James Gunn says a lot of things, and
And a lot of
I
things are
can't.
not true.
I feel like he's someone I can't really trust with him to say these things because he'll say these things and then he'll do another thing.
Right? Because we know that James Gunn and his mysterious writer are working on their Batman movie called The Brave and the Bold. We know that the director of The Flash, the hit movie The Flash, the beloved classic The Flash, uh, one of the greatest movies ever made, according to James Gunn. He's the director and he's still attached, although personally I don't think he will stay attached. I think James Gunn secretly wants to make a Batman movie, and I think he will use his position to take over at some point. That's my personal speculation. I think he wants this very much to do a Batman movie. I think he's much more excited to do a Batman movie than a Superman movie. And I
Yeah,
and I think, but the question is like, when is the script ready to go? And because the Batman Part Two is still like a couple of years away, we could run into a situation where it could like it comes out um like between Part Two and Part Three or something. And
yeah. I was just thinking that, like, is that what they're going to do, or
if it
would it even be a
happens,
longer term plan and to do it after part three, maybe?
or you don't even introduce him in his own movie. You do like what they did in the old DCEU, and you have like Batman pop up in a film with Superman.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
they could do that, and that way you wouldn't. It could happen even sooner than we think. You know,
Oh yeah, but
it could
that didn't work
happen.
out too well,
It
did it?
for all we know, it could happen in Superman, which is the same year as the Batman Part Two.
Man, I'm
Um,
so sick of Batman, and this is a personal thing, I know, but like I'm so sick of the idea of Batman and Superman hanging out together and all that. Like it's
yeah,
what a I don't know, man. It's not. I'm sure, some people would heavily disagree with me, obviously, and that's fair enough, but I just don't think they fit well together at all. So I really hope they don't
I
do that.
agree. I agree completely, and I intend to like get into all that in a future video. But yeah, I'll leave
Yeah,
that
yeah, that'd be
rant
good to
through
do.
another
Yeah.
day with you. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do agree. I do share your view on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
but it's possible that we do see the DCU Batman turn up in Superman in the same year as the Batman Part Two. So you could have
Oh man.
two cinematic Batman. If that were to happen, again, we're just speculating, wildly speculating. But if that were to happen, does that harm the box office of either movie? Does it sort of take away money from either one? Does it not matter?
Right.
Does
Yeah.
it
I mean, it
confuse
could
general?
if
Does
one of
it
them isn't good.
confuse general audiences? Does it create
Hmm.
a sort of do you end up with a warring camp within the DC fan base of fan? Because we already have like the Snyder Bros, who they are sort of anti James Gunn, anti the Batman, and basically anti anything that's not part of the old Snyderverse. Like could we see another fracture happen, like where it fractures again? and we see the DC fan base like at war again with one another, Could general audiences be pulled into this in some way, you know? Whether it's sort of
Yeah,
harming the box office potential of even both movies by doing something like that, or does it not matter? What do you think?
I think it could definitely potentially have a rupture. I think and also if one of them ends up not being good and it comes out slightly before as well. And I mean, even then, like they'd have to have some distance between them, right? Because we've already seen, even with Superman and everything, like it can affect other movies around it when you release something like that, even if they're not in the same universe or same. Yeah, like I don't know. I think it would be foolish to release them too close together if that is going to happen. If they're going to put any Batman or in Superman or something like that. And then yeah, you're also going to get, like you say, people going like, well, this Batman's better and all this kind of stuff. And then I'm imagining that the idea of Batman and Superman being the same thing is probably not going to be that great again, because I just don't see how you can do a great story with that. And so then that'll also cause issues, like, and then maybe the Batman 2 will suffer from it. And yeah, I really hope they don't do that, to be honest.
I,
That
I
sounds
would like
concerning.
I would like James Gunn to let Matt Reeves do his thing. Give him the respect that Nolan was given by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers wanted to introduce Superman and they wanted to do other things, right? And Nolan was against it, all right. And they respected that. They respected him as a filmmaker and they wanted Nolan on board with the company. And they didn't do anything that would annoy Nolan. And they let Nolan play in his sandbox until he was finished and he was able to complete his trilogy to his satisfaction. I would like the same opportunity given to Matt Reeves. Let him finish his story without another Batman competing against him at the same
Yeah.
time. I don't know how many movies Matt Reeves intends to make. I personally hope it's more than three. I don't like this idea that everything has to be a trilogy. I think it should just go on naturally until it reaches a natural conclusion, or the director just decides to move on.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if he did three and then James Gunn waited all the way until he did that, which is a long time, admittedly, and then he can do his own Batman movie, right? After that, that would be kind of cool. But we're talking like 10 years though, aren't we?
Well, especially at the speed that Matt works, right? So, I mean, but
Which
then
he's
again,
probably going to
right?
be a bit impatient for.
But then again, James Gunn has access to the entire DCU library of characters, right? He's got big, heavy hitters to play with. He's got Superman. He's got Wonder Woman. He's got he could do like there's so many characters and storylines that he can play with. He doesn't need Batman. I think about it in the way that Marvel did it, and I know Marvel did it the way they did it because they didn't have access to Spider-Man at the time. But think about it, right? In Marvel, Spider-Man is their number one character, right? Just like in DC, Batman is their number one character. Um, but they didn't have access to Spider-Man for many movies. And then they did, and they brought him in, and it was like that boost to the MCU. It's like, oh, now we got Spider-Man, and everyone was
Yeah.
excited to see the MCU Spider-Man, right? James Gunn could do a similar thing with Batman. He could do a number of movies and TV shows in the DCU with all these other characters, and then Matt finishes his trilogy, and then you bring in your DCU Batman afterwards, and it's like boost to the DCU, and it's a similar thing. So it's like it worked for Marvel. I just don't
That's
like.
true. It wasn't even an intentional
I mean, they had
thing,
no
but
choice,
it
but
did
I
help.
mean, with
Yeah.
with James, it would be a choice he makes, but I think it would be the right choice to make. I think it'd be the right thing for Matt Reeves to let him have his like time, in the sun without competing against another Batman, cinematic Batman.
Yeah. I hope so.
How much money do you think the movie can make? The first movie made 772 million worldwide. Very good for a reboot, you know. especially when you're coming off of the fractured DCEU. And the
True.
fact that the fan was fractured with the Snyder Bros and general audiences being unhappy with that version of Batman and all that happening, and then you do a reboot again. I feel like it did very well. And we were just coming out of COVID as well. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I feel like overall, we know Warner Brothers were very happy with it, but I think it did well. It made a good amount of money back. I think the budget for the film was about 150 million. And
Yeah.
they say to basically break even, you need to make back 2.5 times the the production cost, right? So it did that. It was successful. Um, it made money for Warner Brothers, and it was critically successful as well. Very highly rated with the critics. And
Yeah.
unlike the DC EU Batman, it wasn't divisive. You didn't have people saying that isn't Batman, that isn't how Batman should be. Like he was accepted. It's going, yeah, that is Batman. That's how Batman acts. That's how Batman should be. And there seems to be a genuine excitement to continue the story. Whereas I feel like when Ben Affleck's Batman was introduced, people were not, a lot of people were not happy, with the depiction of the character. And
Hmm. Yeah,
so,
this definitely went down better in general, didn't it?
and if we
So
look at
I think that
something
means that it'll
like,
probably. Sorry, go on.
if we look at something like the Nolan template, he came off of, it was a 7-year gap, but he came off of Batman and Robin, which was a disaster. And then he was rebooting, and his movie did okay, but it wasn't great. But it did very
Hmm.
well on like home video and DVD and things like that. So it did well like that, but like it didn't like set the box office on fire. But then we look at the massive success of The Dark Knight because Batman Begins gave you a really good solid foundation, and I think the Batman's done the same thing. So the potential for Batman Part 2, I think, is higher. So I would predict that it could get to 800 million and above.
Yeah, I agree. I think it probably will do better. And also, don't forget, there's the Penguin TV series that some people may have watched that didn't watch the Batman,
Mm.
and they're like, "Oh, I like this," and then maybe they did watch the Batman after that or whatever, and then so that will have also brought in some new people.
I mean, 5 years, half a decade. Unfortunately, I'm gonna say it's gonna hinder people a little bit because be like, oh, it's been ages. Like I've been talking to people. I was talking to this person in the elevator about it, and I was just talking to my friend about, oh, I need to rewatch the Batman, and she was like, yeah, it was a good movie, and I'm like, yeah, the second one's coming out soon, and she's like, what, the one with Robert Pattinson? And I'm like, yeah, like she
Mm.
thought they were doing a whole new one.
Mm. Mm.
So, yeah,
I mean, it's a long time between movies, but it's not unheard of. If you look through the history of movies, there's been really good movies that have had a sequel 5 or more years later. Look at like the Terminator.
that's true.
It was a big gap between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2. Like there's lots of like films. If you look through history, like these were big movies that did very well, and people turned up for them, even though the gap was fairly large. So I don't think it's a problem really. I think it could actually help it because it builds anticipation because you're like, yeah, like I'm ready for it. I'm ready for some more. Like it's been a while. You know,
Yeah.
Whereas if you're pumping out these things too quickly, people are, not another one. Like, I feel like I've just seen it, sort of thing.
Shout out Marvel.
Is superhero fatigue real?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Are people
I think it is.
genuinely just tired of comic book films in general? Or is it they're tired of poor quality general comic book movies
I
being
think it
shoveled
might be
out?
a bit of both, actually. I think people are tired. Well, I mean, this is all very, very wild speculation because there's literally no way for us to know this until a few years from now, I suppose.
I
But I
think with
think,
Spider-Man next year, right, is
oh, the animated thing, you
no,
mean?
no, the live action Spider-Man is out next year, and I think
When's
that's
the animated one coming out?
I'm not sure, but
That's the one I care about.
the live action one I feel like is the barometer, right? It's like if that movie is a quality movie, and if it does really well, that shows that that would prove that the fatigue is not against comic book movies in general, but it's against just poor quality shovelware that Marvel's been up to, right? The MCU slop. So that would be very good news for Batman because that shows that if you make a really good comic book movie, people will turn up for it. But if you make slop, they won't. And
Yeah,
they
but if
like
that doesn't do well, then
if that is a
it
good
could be a
movie
bad
and it still
indication.
doesn't do well, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Well,
tells you that
I still think it might be a bit of both. My prediction is that it's a bit of both, as in people are a bit kind of overall fatigued with it, but they're also fatigued with the bad movies and both kind of might have affected each other.
the cinematic landscape has changed in recent
It's
years,
true.
and we're
People don't
seeing,
want to people don't want to go to the movies anymore.
yeah, like a lot of people just don't want to go anymore. They because of streaming as well. Like COVID did a lot of that. It broke people of the habit of going to the cinema, and then now because many films come out 30 days, 35 days later, 2 months later, 3 months later, people are like, I could just wait. I'll wait for the home release.
It's kind of like an only time will tell kind of thing.
Hmm?
Breaking news.
What's that?
Quentin Tarantino has called Paul Dano the Limpus D in Hollywood.
What? Oh man. Uh,
Here's an article I'm reading. It says this is from worldofreal.com. It says, imagine being Paul Dano, one of the most reserved actors around, and suddenly, and most randomly, being called out by Quentin Tarantino. Not just that, you're then thrust to the top of the cultural news cycle for 48 hours and counting.
Oh man.
This is more
Why did he
press than
suddenly
Dano
do
has
that?
ever gotten in his entire career. He's probably
Oh
been
man.
offered more projects this week in the last few months combined. But it says it certainly helps that many of his colleagues have come out to defend him from Tarantino's wrath, and the list keeps growing.
That's so weird.
The latest and most notable name has got to be Paul Dano's Batman director, Matt Reeves, who described him as an incredible actor and incredible person.
Hmm.
Yeah, so apparently Quentin was on a podcast and they were talking about the movie There Will Be Blood, and he praised Daniel Day-Lewis, but then decided to just attack Paul Dano.
That's so weird. I mean, he was so good in the Batman as well.
He was great in that film as well, though. Like
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
really good actor. Like I I don't think this is right for Quentin. I mean, Quentin's entitled to his own opinions, right? Like we all are, but um, yeah, I don't agree with him. I'll say that. I don't agree with him. I think Paul Dano was very good in that movie. I think he held his own. He played it just as the part required of him. And yeah, just like I just imagine what it's like to be Paul Dano, you're just sitting there minding your own business, and suddenly this just blows up on social media. And then Quentin Tarantino is one of the most revered filmmakers in the world. Is there
I
saying that
know.
about you? How does Paul feel about this? Is he chilled about it, or is he just kind of like, what is happening? Like, I imagine his phone's like blowing up with like personal messages of support and condolences.
Probably, yeah.
Or is he just chilled about it? He's just rolling with it, and he's just like, okay, it's just his opinion and all that, or like, I just don't know. Kind of
Maybe he just
crazy.
doesn't like him as a person or something. Maybe they've just didn't get on.
I don't know. He just it wasn't. He was just attacking the guy's acting basically. It wasn't like a personal attack. It was a professional attack.
But it's a kind of personal professional attack, right?
Yeah, because it's like you're attacking his career, right? His
Yeah,
opportunities for
yeah.
work and
I mean,
everything.
I'm not into the idea of everybody having to be like, you know, super safe and not be able to say anything, and it's all very restricted and all that type of thing, the cancel culture stuff. Like, I hate all that stuff. But at the same time, I do believe that there's some professionality that you need to have in any industry, right? In any workplace, essentially. And I feel like saying stuff like that, even though it is kind of funny, but like it, you know what I mean? Like that's crossing that boundary. Like imagine if, like you
Yeah, I
go into
agree.
work one day and you go like, ah, yeah, like this guy is a complete asshole or something, and you're probably going to get fired, right? And maybe that's fair
I
enough.
think if you're in the professional sphere like Quentin is, if you talk about an actor from an older movie in the past, that actor's not currently working, I think that's fine to critique an actor or a movie or whatever. But I don't know, you're talking about a guy that's like a young guy who's like he's not rich enough that I don't think he's rich enough that he doesn't have to work anymore. It's like this can really damage his
Yeah, it could ruin his
potential.
career.
I mean,
And
I
it
don't think it
probably
will.
won't. Yeah,
No, I think
exactly.
it'll only do. I think it'll only strengthen it. Actually, I think it'll
Yeah,
have the
yeah, I
opposite
agree.
effect because it's.
But
I hope so.
but there's a chance, right? And so
Yeah.
it's kind of, it just feels a bit, yeah, like selfish kind of thing not to really think about like how it could potentially impact somebody like that. Which is part of the reason why professionalism is not a bad thing when it comes to stuff like this, right? Like,
I mean, because we can say what we want, right? Because we're just a couple of chuckleheads, right? No one cares
yeah,
what we
yeah, no
think.
one gives a shit what we say.
Right. But like
We
when you're
can say what we want.
Quentin, it's like people tend to listen.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit more, but even then, I don't think I would say something like that about somebody anyway. But then it's not even true. Like he's actually good as well. Like, what I mean? It's weird to say that when you could, then there's actually like bad actors out there, a bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
So strange.
So the
Yeah.
next bit of news we have, Shenmue, is it looks like Scarlett Johansson has been cast in the Batman Part 2.
Yeah.
It because
Yeah.
Variety have basically confirmed it. I think the Hollywood Reporter has as well now.
Right. So it's definitely happening
It
then.
started off like rumors saying that she was sort of in the sort of top sort of choice for the part. Apparently, it was offered to Emma Stone, and Emma Stone
Ah.
turned it down. Again, this is unconfirmed. This is rumor. Apparently, she turned it down, and the rumor is she turned it down, and it was overpay. She wanted more cash, basically,
Huh.
because
That's
she's
interesting.
now an Oscar-winning actress. So I think she felt like she should get more cash. So
I mean,
uh,
she is a great actress.
yeah, but now Scarlett has apparently got the part. We don't even know the character, so we don't know if she's a love interest or a villain. It's interesting because we were discussing women who could play like a love interest or a villain, weren't
Yeah.
we? And then this happens, like this breaking news. So it's interesting to me. I do like Scarlett though. I do like her
I
as an
do too. I do kind of wish it was Emma Stone though instead. Now you just said that, but I do
okay.
like it.
I like both of them. So yeah, I really liked Emma Stone in the Spider-Man movies. I thought she had great chemistry with Andrew
Mm,
Garfield. And yeah, but like I say, I
same.
really like Scarlett as well. So for me, it's like it's all
It's
good.
going to
But
be a love interest, I'm pretty sure, right?
I mean, who knows, right? I mean, we discussed like Poison Ivy, my
Oh yeah?
ideas with Poison Ivy, and I think I literally just said, didn't I? Like that I floated the idea of Scarlett in the list of candidates.
Yeah, I think
Interestingly,
you did actually. Yeah, and I could see if it was like Poison Ivy or something, I could see her being a good role for that.
So your
Although
but your pick would be Emma Stone, would it?
definitely, yeah. I think she's a better actress actually. But yeah, she's in a lot of stuff these days, isn't she? But she is actually very good, I have to say. Like it's nice to have someone who's like actually, like in movies because she's really good at like not just she's not just being pretty or something. Like it's like she's actually very talented.
Mm.
I feel like she's got better though over the years, right? Like I feel like she's always been good, but like maybe because she did movies that were a bit more basic, so it was just like yeah, whatever. But now
Well, I
she
guess
actually
she's
does
doing like less mainstream stuff these days.
exactly, which is maybe why she asked for more money, if that is a true thing, what you said. Because maybe like she's just not that interested in doing those now. Like she's like, I don't need to make like from her perspective, it's like, oh, I'm just, like I'm not interested in making like superhero movies now, even though this one is obviously, well, hopefully it's not going to be just a typical superhero movie. But she might be like, I don't want to, I'm not so interested in that kind of thing now. I want to do like,
So according to the rumors that I read, the reason Scarlett did it for less money than Emma is because Scarlett she negotiated a deal on the back end, so she'll get a percentage of the movie's
oh,
profits. Yeah. I
went at
think
that
she
point.
did that for Black Widow as well with Marvel.
Right. Oh,
And
yeah.
I think she sued them because she said they didn't pay her or what she
Huh.
felt she was owed, and they
But
ended
it
up
didn't
set.
make any money, did it?
Um, I think I think it I think it might be considered a flop because well,
Yeah, I
wasn't it
thought it was.
released during COVID?
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was done. A lot of movies really struggled around that time, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was like in Marvel's, I guess it might be like the beginning part of their decline of their sort of more of their slop era.
I
So
think so.
I've seen Black Widow. Um,
Same. And I can't
it's
remember anything about it whatsoever, which shows a lot to me. Like
I
just
sort of
even just the
I
name,
put
I'm like,
it I consider it sort of a mid-tier film. I don't think it's like terrible. I saw just recently I got around to watching Thor: Love and Thunder.
oh
And
yeah.
have you seen that one
I think I have.
with Christian Bale?
Oh yes, Christian. Maybe not then.
Oh, it's terrible.
Can't
Now that
remember.
movie is atrocious. So that might be like the worst Marvel movie. And so, but yeah, I would put like that, like
Uh,
I put that movie like down the bottom of the pile, but I put
yeah.
Black Widow sort of in the middle-ish part of it. So it's
Even
like,
just I'm just looking at pictures now, right? And I'm immediately like, I'd looked at pictures of both and I can see what you're talking about. Like, even just pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, this is clearly worse than Black Widow. Like, I can just see straight away.
we've just found out that Netflix has won the bid to buy Warner Brothers
Ah,
for
yeah.
82.7 billion.
This is huge, right?
And they've signed a $5 billion breakup fee, meaning if the deal doesn't go through the approval process, because there's a lot of people not happy about it, including the President of the United States. If the deal doesn't go through, then Netflix are obligated to pay Warner Brothers 5 billion
Oh, I
basically
didn't
for
know that
wasting
one.
their
I didn't
time.
know that part of it. I saw the news, but I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that they were obligated to pay
Yeah.
Warner. That's interesting. So they really are. I mean, they're obviously very confident about it. But you know what?
It
Like
was
with this stuff, right? Like it's definitely going to go through, right? Because they have these like that agent CMA or
Well,
whatever
if
it's called and all
Disney
that.
went through, right? If Disney were able to buy
Exactly.
Lucasfilm and Marvel and Fox, and if all that went through, it'd be a bit hypocritical if they then say, well, Netflix can't purchase Warner Brothers,
I
right?
mean, really, they should be like more, in my opinion, they should be a bit more strict about this stuff because they've seen the impact. Because every single
Yeah,
time these things
I
happen, it's
think I
negative,
don't think the
but
Marvel
they
I
won't.
don't think Disney should have been able to purchase Fox, for example.
No,
Like
I don't.
and I
But
don't think
I don't think they even have enough weight, though, do they? These companies, these sort of anti-competition committees, especially the one in America, actually, funny enough, it just doesn't seem to have any like discernible weight on the sort of legal system, really. Like they can go, oh, we're not happy about this, and it's like, well, tough. Right, we're going to go through with it, kind of thing. Like it seems like it's difficult for them to actually stop them from doing it. Which but I know in the UK, the UK's one seems like it's got a bit more weight, but it doesn't matter because it's like this is an American company by an American company, and
how do
even
you
then they
feel
seem
about it
okay. But
though? You
well, I think
personally, are you like
I don't like any kind of um monopolization and like any sort of what's the word, like when everything's kind of just brought into less companies, right? Like it's never, I don't think it's ever a good thing to like have less companies basically making stuff. So I do think that's a bad thing. I do think Warner Brothers have a lot of issues though. And I was actually just talking about this with some game developers yesterday because there was a kind of meetup thing with them. And I was saying about like on the game side, it's actually probably beneficial potentially because the games side of Warner is very badly organized, and there definitely needs to be a bit of a shake up there. So it might actually help with that. But from the movie side, I don't think it's a good thing because again, it's just like less companies around, right? And they've got like a bigger slice of the industry, and the industry is already very like it's already owned by these big companies. It just yeah, it's and Warner already has like a bunch of companies they bought. I think I saw that a part of Warner is going to be separate, right? I think it's not 100% the entire
I
company. I
know
can't
that
remember.
Paramount wanted to buy the whole thing, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Like
Well,
everything.
they were the rival, right? It was basically Paramount versus Netflix, and for some reason Netflix won. But I mean, it kind of makes sense. They've got a lot more money, I'm sure.
Well, they actually borrowed it all right from banks.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they
Netflix
yeah,
are a weird one like that, right? Because they've been doing that a lot. Like they've been kind of
it's all
making a lot of
debt. It's
loss.
all like massive debt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what that's going to mean for the future of them, but I think they'll
And
probably be all right though, because they've got such sort of, because they've become the sort of almost like a monopoly on that, on streaming. I mean, I guess the positive is that they can get rid of that stupid HBO Max crap now, right? And just make it all into one Netflix app. So they could bring all their content back into Netflix. So the consumers will be
well,
happy on that, but
so yeah, because
because that's a terrible thing to exist, right?
Superman went to streaming after 35 days in the theater.
Man, that's short.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking like what would the Netflix business model look like? Now
Yeah,
we
true. Like, are they
know
going to force it immediately? Are they going
like
to?
day and
I mean,
day.
there'll
Well,
definitely be some movies I think that they won't bother bringing to cinema that they may have done before. I bet that will happen. That would
yeah,
be my
so
prediction.
I think like that Clayface movie, for example, that they're making. I think
Yeah, maybe
if
that would just go straight to streaming.
I don't think Netflix would have ever put that in the cinema. Like I think
No,
that would have
no.
been straight onto Netflix,
I
right?
mean, this time it probably will go to the cinema because it still takes a
Yeah, I
while.
think
Like
they
if
have
this,
to honor the deals that are in place,
yes,
and also
yes,
th this deal to acquire Warner Brothers. It I think Netflix has said like I think it was Netflix. It won't. They're looking to complete it by the third quarter of 2026.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So
it normally takes about at least a year normally for these things
yeah,
to go through
so
because
it's
it
not
takes a
going
long
to
time.
affect like Supergirl or Clayface, I would think.
Yeah,
Only the biggest blockbusters would go to the theater,
yeah,
and then a lot more content would just go straight to Netflix. But
yeah.
then
And they'll
they,
probably make a lot more content than they already do.
maybe they could do a very brief theatrical window where, because we know most movies, they make their bulk of their money these days, blockbusters, in the first like couple of weekends, right? So maybe they just do like a 2 week window. The Batman Part 3
True.
comes out for just 2 weeks in the
Yeah.
and maybe they only put them into premium theaters like IMAXs. Premium format IMAX, 2 week window, and then over to Netflix.
I definitely think that could work. I mean, well, Netflix will they'll try different ideas probably, right, and then run the numbers and figure it all out. But I think that's probably I think you're right. I think that might be quite. I think they might go down that sort of route, which makes
Does
sense.
this
But
affect James Gunn at all? Does he
I know.
stay in charge of the
I
DCU?
think at least for a year or two that'll stay the same.
I think his
But I think it could
contract
affect him.
expires in 2027.
Okay. Well,
But
that means that'll be after that, won't it? But I don't think they'll change it that quickly. You know what it's like normally with these acquisitions, right? They start off fairly similar and then they start putting their poker in there. Then again, I don't know. With this one, maybe Netflix will just get in there quicker because
well,
Warner is a
the
very
the
troubled company, right? It's a
the
very
Snyder
troubled company in
Bros,
general.
the Snyder Bros have been celebrating this because they feel like this could mean the return of the Snyderverse. And yeah, because it could be. I mean, we don't know how Netflix feels, but it could be that they are very comfortable with multiple versions of Batman and multiple versions of DC characters going on at the same time. They might just view it all as
I think that would
content.
make some sense. I think it's okay for them to have multiple things going on at once,
I mean, if
actually.
Batgirl hadn't been a
Especially,
tax write-off, I could see that
yeah.
ended up on Netflix.
Yeah. I do think it because with Netflix, right, or in streaming generally, especially Netflix, but I don't think it matters as much to be so worried about like, oh, we can only have one universe and all this. It doesn't matter, right? Like Netflix can have anything on there. Like they've always done this kind of thing back in the day. Yeah, I think it actually would be fine, to be honest, on that one. Like I think it would work. Because I don't think streaming is the same thing where things get impacted so easily, right? Like if somebody doesn't like one TV show that's in, say, that's got Batman in it or something, I don't think they'll watch it, not watch another one or the movie if it's on streaming, right? I don't think it's the same impact again because of what I was saying before about the risk. Like going to the cinema carries risk essentially. I mean, it doesn't really, right? But you know what I mean? Like there's a that's what people are thinking in their minds, right? They're sort of estimating that risk. Like, is it worth me going to the cinema? Is it worth me doing this? Whereas on streaming, there's no risk. You just sometimes people are just flicking through and they just want to watch something, right? So they don't give a shit, right? So it's not as much about there's less concern about whether you do this, that, and the other. And I think they could do this. I think they could do a Snyder thing if they want and carry it and like and have that separately at the same time as the other stuff. And I think it would still do all right. What do you think?
Mm.
Do you think they would be able to do that?
The implications of this are mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You think about like the whole business model as well. You think we you used to make your money at the cinema, right? And then it wouldn't come out on like VHS or DVD for like a year, right? It'd be a whole year.
Yeah.
And then it would be like a few years, 2 or 3 years after that before it comes to like television networks. But it's still just like exploded now to like we're seeing like Superman this year. Like just over a month later, people are watching it at home. Uh,
Yeah.
and that was before this merger. Like, who knows? Like, maybe Netflix doesn't even, maybe they just only do it for like a short time, and then basically they don't even bother with the theater at all.
Yeah.
And unless it's like a case by case basis with very prestige filmmakers that sort of demand it, that they work a deal out on a individual basis to say, well, if we want, you know, a Nolan or something, if they could work with Nolan in the future, they would be willing to give him his theatrical window or something. But with the vast majority of filmmakers, they may not even bother sending it to the cinema.
Yeah, because Nolan likes his cinema, doesn't he?
And then you think about physical movie collectors, right? Many people enjoy collecting the Blu-ray or the 4K version of the movie and the bonus features, that could all go away because
Yep,
Netflix might not do physical
probably
releases.
will. Yeah.
And then do you still get bonus features on Netflix? Do they do that? Or
Sometimes.
yeah, it'd be interesting if like they do sort of interfere with James Gunn and they kind of like we don't
Oh,
really
they
want
will. Yeah.
you. Oh, you think they certainly will? You
They'll
don't?
interfere and they'll probably piss him off, and then he's ultimately going to leave. But I don't know when that will happen. Like that would be my prediction. Like it'll take a long time. That could be years and years away. But I bet that's going to, because that's what always happens, right? When these companies come in, they eventually just they push a bit too hard on something, and the people that are in there don't like it, and they just go. But
I don't
it
think
could
they're
be a long
gonna
way
just
away.
leave him alone like David Zaslav
No,
does. Like Zaslav just lets James Gunn do it once, right? He's just like, yeah, I don't know anything about DC. You just deal with it, right? And he's
I
just
think they
left
should get
there.
rid of Zaslav, by the way.
Well, he's going. He's taking his money and he's running.
Oh, he already said that? Okay.
Oh yeah, that was the whole point. That's why he
I
purchased
mean, I
Warner
think that was
Brothers
the whole point.
was
I
to flip
honestly
it.
think that was the whole point in him even doing everything that he's been doing for the last so many years. It's been all about like, how do I make
Yeah,
somebody buy Warner and then I
yeah.
can get going with my
Well,
money and
yeah,
everything.
that was obviously what he was always going to flip
Yeah,
it, right? That was the point of it.
yeah.
And
And actually he did a good job because he's kind of semi turned it around. Like he's worked a little bit on it to kind of repair it a bit. And now it's like, and then companies are, oh, Warner's actually getting better. Like, let's buy them, right? And I
Mm.
think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, what's happened here. But yeah, like it, yeah. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think they will interfere, and I
Yeah, because I
think,
can't see Netflix just saying, James Gunn, you just make all the decisions regarding all the DC properties, right? I don't think Netflix are going to do that. I think they're gonna want to do like they're gonna have executives there that like want to do things with those characters and got ideas of their own, right? I don't think they're just going to leave him alone. And
yeah,
it'd be interesting, even with Matt Reeves, it's going to be like,
yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
I was actually going to say like with Matt Reeves, right? So again, I think Batman 2 is going to happen, and everything's going to be the same in that respect. But
but
could he
if
actually
the deal
mean
goes through the end of next year, that's still like a
a
year
year away? Yeah,
before it's
yeah, but
possible that it does
it
affect
could
its
impact it. Yeah,
theatrical run, right?
it
In
could
some way.
do. But what I'm more concerned with, though, potentially, is would they, after that all happens, right, and they buy it and it's theirs, and then they release Batman 2 and then they put it on streaming and all that stuff, right? Could it mean that, like, when they start interfering a bit more, could they off Matt Reeves? And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to bother making Batman 3, and he's off.
Well,
That's also possible.
we'll look at
I
Nolan,
say
right?
off. I mean, I think Netflix are very, I think they're a well-managed company, so I don't think they're going to do dumb
Well,
stuff. But
look at Nolan, right? Here's the thing, right? When Nolan was making Tenet, they decided to do what they did because we were like in the midst of COVID, right? And Nolan became angry and left, right? And vowed never to work with Warner Brothers again.
yeah,
Uh, but they did it. They obviously had some kind of arrangement with him, and then he felt cheated by that, and he left. So
right. I see what you're saying. So
people
they could
that
do the
come,
same.
people that make
Yeah.
deals with with Netflix right now, they know that Netflix is a streaming platform, right? And so individual directors have to make deals, right? If they feel like they've got the power to do that, the position to be able to say to Netflix, we want some kind of theatrical window, right? But that's all made when they sign up to work with Netflix, right? But with Matt Reeves, he has made no deal with Netflix, right? And so he may never have made a deal for the Batman Part 2 that even had any kind of real discussion about a theatrical window because
Oh, yeah.
in his mind when he made the deal, he I mean, and remember, right? He made this deal not even with James Gunn, but with the previous executives that are all gone. So that's how long he's been working. His deal goes way back, right? So
Yeah.
when he made that deal, it probably wasn't. it probably didn't even cross his mind that it wouldn't be in theaters. So it may not even occur to him to have anything written down in paper on paper, right? So this could be he was like, well, of course it'll go to theaters. It's a Warner Brothers movie. Warner Brothers puts their blockbuster movies in theaters, right? So it's possible that he has no kind of security to
Yeah,
say,
that's
hey,
true.
like it's possible that this deal goes through at the end of next year. Batman 2 comes out the year after, and they decide to do whatever they do, and there's nothing he can do about it apart from get annoyed and leave, right? But would he? That's the question. Like, is Matt Reeves like Nolan? I don't think he is quite like
No, I
Nolan,
don't
right?
think he's
Nolan's
like it.
very much about the theater, isn't he? And I don't know how Matt Reeves feels
There's
about
going
the.
to be less and less people like that, though, as well as things go on, because obviously that's the older generation, right, to be
Yeah.
interested in the cinema. And don't get me wrong, there still are younger people who are interested
I'm
too, but
sure that Matt Reeves would love to see his movie in the theater, right? Obviously, right? I'm sure
well,
he
who
would.
wouldn't?
But I don't
But
know
it's
how
just like if, like you
passionate
said, if he
about
hasn't
it
even
it
made the
is.
deal.
Yeah, if he hasn't made
Yeah,
the deal, and
yeah.
if Netflix are like, hey, no, is he going to be as strong as Nolan and walk, or is he going to be like, well, I would have liked it in the theater, but they're not doing it, so I'll just accept it and carry on making my Batman movies. I don't know.
Yeah, so it is interesting. So there's a lot of implications from this acquisition that could potentially really change up how this whole thing goes about
mm,
for Batman 2 and everything and 3 potentially.
yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot. It's this is the huge bit of news, isn't it?
It's crazy when you think like what Matt Reeves has gone through with these Batman movies, the constantly changing leadership and owners and
Oh
and
yeah.
he's just sort of been toiling away along like through all of this,
Well,
like
that's the
on the
thing.
Batman
Warner
and
have always been yeah, they've well, not always, but they've Warner recently have been a very a
he
bit of a
came
company with
in
turmoil.
in the turmoil, didn't he? Like
Yeah,
when
he
he
did.
came in on the Batman, it was in turmoil. The DCU was in turmoil. Like they asked him to come in to direct Ben Affleck originally. Like that's how they invited him in, And
Right,
so
yeah.
yeah, and he sort of navigated through all those choppy waters so far. It's feels
So
like
maybe he is a quite a chill guy, right? Like maybe he'll just be all right with all of this, and maybe it'll just carry
I,
on as
I
is. But
I feel like his work speaks for him so that he doesn't need to sort of get too stressed out about it or start making demands because I feel like he's just like he's got the Batman, he's made the Batman, and everyone acknowledges it. It's a great movie, right? Netflix knows it's a great movie. They're gonna want more, right? What format it happens, whether it's exclusive to Netflix or it gets a very brief window or whatever happens, right? They're gonna want more for sure, right?
yeah, they will.
They would
Yeah.
be insane to shut it down, right? Now, if Batman 2 does do well, as we hope, they're gonna continue. They're gonna want to continue. They're gonna want a part three, right? So
Yeah, and I think they would like. I think Netflix would really like the idea of what they've done with
I
with the
think James Gunn
movies and
has
the.
more to worry about, honestly, than Matt Reeves does.
Yeah,
Because they
probably.
are definitely going to interfere with him, right? And
Oh yeah. Oh,
there's
that's a
no,
given. Yeah,
yeah, they're
yeah.
definitely going to
It
come
won't be.
along.
I mean, it's like you said about the Snyderverse thing. It won't. I don't think it'll be like, oh, there's this one guy that's heading up the entire thing, and everything that's basically DC has to go through him. They're going to be like, nope, we're getting rid of that. Like, we're going to make our own. We can make loads of different things, and it'll be whatever, right? And it's definitely not going to be all about James Gunn. Definitely not. I'm
Well,
pretty
I
sure of
mean,
that.
I don't know how you feel about James Gunn running a DCU, but I don't think he's the right man for the job anyway.
No, I don't think so either. Actually, yeah.
I think he
But
makes
it's too hard to say at this point, I guess. But the problem is that he has a sort of style, and I don't know if it's a good
Hmm,
thing that every single movie kind of has that sort of
exactly
style.
like his movie, like he got hit big, right, with Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah, yeah,
which
which are
was
great. But
a wacky team up movie, right? And full of jokes and some like pop music inserted in it, and it follows follows a formula. Like they're offbeat, wacky people like on a crazy adventure, right? And it's a team up thing, and it did really well. And then he came over to DC and he did the Suicide Squad, and he tried to repeat the formula, right? He's like, here's another wacky team up of like people on another crazy adventure, but it was at a darker bent to it, right? And
And it was terrible.
that movie flopped, right?
Yeah.
Now it was released during COVID, I think, but it was a flop. Um, and then he's just done Superman, and it's another wacky team up. It's like it instead of being a straight up Superman, it does have Green Lantern and these
Yeah, yeah.
Hulk Girl and these other characters, right? And it's kind of like
It's very much the same kind of thing,
he's
right?
got a yeah, he's got he doesn't really he didn't stretch. I would have liked to see him stretch himself and say, I'm gonna do a straight up Superman movie, It's gonna be Superman and Superman characters only. But he didn't do that.
It definitely isn't
And
that,
then
is it, at
you
all?
look at Peacemaker, and he's also done an
Mm,
animated series, Creature Commandos, which is yet another wacky team up. And it's like, can he do anything else? Does he want to do anything else? And that concerns me that he's running the DCU, because if that is his sensibility, like how is everything filtered through that sensibility? Like when he does finally do his Batman, is it going to be what I fear it's going to be? And it's going to be a wacky team up. Is it going to be like Batman, lighter Batman in a grey outfit with a blue cape, with Robin and Batgirl and Bathound and
yeah,
Batmite and having an
probably.
adventure with Superman
Probably.
and Crypto the dog and all this? Is that what we're going to get? Because that's not what I
I've got
want.
no interest in that personally.
And that's my concern. It's like everything's going to be filtered that way, like, and certainly everything that he's got a hand in, like Clayface doesn't seem to be that. Like Clayface seems to be like a horror. At least that's how it was originally, like pitched and written as a horror by Mike Flanagan. So, but that is not James Gunn. That's Mike Flanagan. But James Gunn approved it. So I think he's open to different genres and different styles and things, but it feels like anything that he's personally touching seems to go through that filter of wacky team up. And that's a problem for me because that's not what I want the DCU to be.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want it to be like that. It's the
Well, that can
Marvel's.
all change now with Netflix anyway. So in some ways, maybe it'll be better because, you know, I mean, I like I said, I'm absolutely, I would bet money on the fact that like Netflix are not just going to be like everything has to go through James Gunn. Sorry, I nearly said James Cameron. Everything through James Gunn to make any kind of like DC movie. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I
I
think they'll
mean,
change that up.
James Gunn, like, I'm, he could do his thing, over there somewhere. He does his wacky team up, right, with Suicide Squad or whatever he wants to play with, right? But like, let's not do this with the main characters, like,
And not everything about that, right?
yeah, like let him play in his sandbox with these sort of B or C tier characters and do his wacky thing, right? That's fine. Make his little Netflix show, right? That's great. But let's leave like the big cinematic movies featuring Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. Let's just get other people making those things with, you know,
Yeah. Does
uh,
anybody want that with Batman as well, man? Like any of that stuff?
I definitely feel like there's a feeling among more people these days where they don't want a connected universe anymore, that they want standalone movies. I think there is a sort of fatigue with the MCU and everything, and then the failed DCEU, that people are like, can we just make one movie at a time and make it a
Yeah.
great movie? Like, I feel that that is a thing for sure. And I think people have recognized that a connected universe, it, in the end, it doesn't work, you know, like you can only go so far before you end up in trouble because we've seen it with Marvel, right? It's not just that they made poor quality movies, it's also the fact that actors age out and or want to move on or they start asking for more money and whatever it is, right? And you can only go so far before you naturally have to like reboot or recast. I think people would like to like not have to deal with this whole connected thing. And it's interesting that James Gunn's trying it at a time when so many people are fatigued by it all. It'd be interesting to see what happens like with Supergirl next year, you know? Like how does that movie do? Yeah, so
Yeah.
that, that's the
There's
end of our discussion.
lots to look forward to, and we'll see how things go. It's going to be very interesting. Something to watch in the future, watch back and be like, oh man, we were like so off
So
with this.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah. We can have a good laugh about it.
We do another commentary where we listen to ourselves and we stop it at each stupid thing we say, and then we're like,
Yeah, be like,
then we
why did we
comment,
say this?
then we comment on ourselves. We're like, what were you thinking when you said this exactly?
That could be kind of fun actually to do that in a chunk of years' time.
Yeah.